Such joy in his fucking tone. The joy in his voice is the game of the year.
See, and that's why you're part of the problem.
Now I was watching his stream. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Juices Loose. Just talking about Pokemon before we went live here. I was watching his stream, and Terrell brought up the game. He was showing some issues, but he was showing like this
Oh, there he is. He's dropping a deuce.
this like green, like grassy area with it was daytime. I was like, man, that actually looks pretty damn good. You know, the light was hitting the trees. But then I was like, dude, go up the mountains there. He goes up the mountains and it's like a sand area, and it's just like, I mean, through the stream it was hard to tell, but it didn't look like the sand was even textured. I was like, past the character. I was like, well, this is a less appealing area. Every game's got good like highlights and low light spots, like from art direction and stuff. But honestly, watching him play, listen to him talk about it, I was like, I think I'd be having more fun playing that than playing a Plague Tale. It's like I'm just having trouble with the padding and the restrict. Like I 7 hours in, I feel like 5 of those hours is that.
Did you buy it?
Yeah, I bought it, full price.
See, I think that's the difference. I didn't buy it, so it don't bother me as much.
I would say out of my first 7, 4 or 5 of the hours feels like the thing we talk about with Batman and other the forced slow walking. I feel like 4 out of my 7 hours is that.
I'm about 3 hours in, and I played it enough to know that there's some slogginess to it that was in the first game.
It's just it's one of those. It was a spontaneous thing. I wasn't planning on getting it after I was heard about kind of its length, and it was a lot of padding. It's kind of slow, not a lot of gameplay. But anyway, Terrell's icons here, so we'll wait.
Oh, hey, sorry.
Oh, you're...
I forgot. I didn't cut on the camera.
So I was just saying. I was watching your stream of Pokemon, and I was kind of like thinking, yeah, man, this looks more fun than what I'm experiencing playing a Plague Tale Requiem right now. So I kind of I don't regret, because I try not to buy games if I feel like they launched before they were ready.
That bitch is 60 though. Like, come on. I thought it was 40 or something.
Yeah, Plague Tale to me,
it's 60.
Yeah, that.
Damn.
I get it. They made, I always talk about the length of a game makes it adds to the value, but to me that game plays better as a shorter experience if they're not going to expand upon the gameplay. And like I just can't. I don't know what other games to think. I know God of War. I was talking about when you climb, you just move the camera until you see an icon, and then Kratos does these lunges and stuff. You just literally have to move the camera, press X, and he does it. Same thing with this. Kratos, you can't jump, you can't vault over a ledge or anything until you see the icon. And the same thing with Plague Tale. So
that's the stuff that turned me off to God of War. I still haven't played it. I have it. I just haven't touched it yet. But I was seeing stuff like that. I was like,
But that's so like God of War compared to a Plague Tale is like
I'm saying I know that
more gameplay.
More gameplay in there. I know that, but I'm saying initially when I first saw it,
it is kind of weird. It feels weird that Kratos can't just jump a gap. It's almost like the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I was gonna say
they were just like Ocarina
of Time. They didn't want you to miss jumps and that be an issue, so they just said, "Fuck, we'll just make it auto jump." But you can still miss a shit ton of jumps in Ocarina of Time with the auto, because especially that last fight up in the tower, where you have to make those angled jumps as the ground's disappearing.
Yeah.
But anyway. And if you know, jumping was in the game at first. It was programmed out, but you can hack it and program it back in. Nice. Yeah.
Anyway, what's up, everybody? Terrell's back.
Hi.
And
there he is.
You got your Bayonetta. You ended up rebuying 1 and 2 on Switch. Is that the only one you could get?
Wait, rebind? Oh no. Well,
doesn't it come with 1 and 2? The one you bought?
It comes with the cases.
Yeah. Just cases?
Yeah, they're cases for 1 and 2.
Oh, that's some horseshit. Oh. The games were in there.
I thought it was the games.
No. They have custom cases. Hold on. You know what? Hold on.
So you can put but you only have a cartridge for 2. You don't have a cartridge.
No, I did rebuy 1.
Dude.
I rebought I rebought one.
What Switch for Switch, right?
Yeah, Switch, because they didn't release a physical edition of
Yeah,
Bayonetta one.
that's nothing wrong. I bought one again too on Switch because it didn't come in its own case. It
Yeah,
came.
I think it's just a code in the 2 bundle. When you buy Bayonetta 2, you just get it as a digital code. So now I have a physical case for all 3 games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bought it. It was a
That's cool. I rebought.
What they
it
charge
too.
for just Bayonetta 1?
it was 30.
Not too
That's
bad.
not
Yeah,
bad.
it's cheap.
You know,
That's
you know what
the thing, it's
gave
cheap.
me?
Yeah,
You know what gave me a physical version of Bayonetta 1 already in the case with the disc?
You
The
live
Wii.
in you.
Yeah, the
Oh
Wii U
my
did.
god.
Which I have.
Yeah, you European.
I didn't notice the giant.
plugs.
That's one.
Look at all that.
Yep.
No. He had it at like. I
He
think
has
you
a-
have
like
an
a-
actual physical.
Yeah,
separate-
he has like a separate box.
Yeah,
Whereas
it
we
come
only
in a
got
separate-
we did get a disc. We just didn't get a
Yeah, we got a
separate box.
Something we're gonna be talking about later. We got in the North America. We got fugged. A lot.
Oh yeah,
A couple times.
The Wii U era is very much the fuck the America era in that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Europe got everything.
over here.
So
Lord.
let's jump into some Pokemon talk because three
really?
of you have been playing it. Like I was just saying, I thought that area with the green grass and stuff you were started in, I thought it looked pretty damn good actually. I mean, I was on my phone watching your stream, but
On YouTube.
It's like all things considered,
yeah, look
the
at
grass
you.
in the game. Like the grass in the game is really fucking well done. Like the way the wind blows over it and the sun
see, I
shines
see
off of it.
some
and stuff.
shots that it looked like that, like almost Breath of the Wild, but other shots where it's just very sparse, cheap looking grass. Like
Yeah,
Well, that's because
you're-
it tries to imitate it, but like it makes it very see-through, so you can see the Pokemon's kind of in it, and
Mm.
because of that, you see the flat ground
Okay.
texture, you know. But like
Yeah.
if you angle the camera, like it's really nicely done.
well,
grass.
the
Yeah.
grass is there within 10 feet of the character. Beyond that, it disappears. So, but when
You
it's
can
in front of
kinda-
you, it looks nice. I do. Agree.
Hey, listen, we take
They-
what we can get out here. All right.
They do that thing where it's like the little dust cloud every now and then, like they do in Breath of the Wild. The
Yeah.
dust cloud comes off the grass. Yeah, they
that's cool.
definitely-
That's a nice
They
little
definitely-
effect.
They got some
Yeah.
nice little touches in there. Like if a Pokemon swimming, you can evolve it, and the evolution starts out swimming. Like there's no awkward animation, no transition. It's like they did some cool stuff. I think the Pokemon for the most part look pretty. I'd say look really good at times. I know there's like a big red crab thing, and his eyeballs are like the shape of a hexagon. They're not even round
I
because
hate when games do that.
the
shit,
polygons
man.
are so apparent. But I feel a lot of the Pokemons look good. I think the character models look good. Some of the green
Like the
areas look
Pokemon's
good.
up close have like almost for the first time I feel like fur and metallic shines to them and stuff,
Yeah.
and it changes everything.
The lighting
Yeah.
looks pretty good.
They've got sheen on them.
But it's
Yeah,
just it's crazy because we all said Arceus. Oh, he's playing.
Yeah, see, like that's a good looking grass, man.
I mean, for a Pokemon, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I was
For
gonna say,
any
chill
game
out.
these days.
Chill out. Chill out.
Chill out.
Let's zoom. Lift it so the camera. How far? It goes out pretty far. Not. I mean, at an angle so you can kind of see what's in front of you, but not at ground level. Lift it up a little bit. There you go. So I mean, it
It goes
draws
as
out
far as the
pretty
camera
far.
can see.
It
Now,
does
if you
that
walk,
effect.
forward, straight forward, is there any trees that are going to pop up, or is this an area that's just a field?
I think this is just an area. Oh God, my controls are reversed. It's fucking with me. I forgot
Okay.
that Discord.
Yeah, I mean,
Discord mirrors it, so
Uh-huh.
when I'm putting in it doesn't.
Oh, I thought you were just looking at
I mean,
the
this
game.
is a good. Like I said, the green grass areas I think look really good. Oh, where'd they come from?
It's a young family. Okay,
They were hiding.
We
but,
killed them both.
we killed the mother and the
So
father.
I was saying before you got here, the joy in your voice when you were talking about this game on Saturday, even when you're talking about the performance issues, I could hear the joy in your voice talking about this game. So why don't you tell us
fun,
what
man.
you're thinking of it?
Oh man, they finally to me nailed the fucking level design. It feels like a legit world. Oh, let me actually.
It is looking pretty rough in the stream.
That's
but-
Discord.
No, that's also the game. I don't know.
I haven't had it that bad yet.
I've seen it that bad. I haven't played it myself, but
I know, but if we're talking about the game itself, I think the core game, I think the experience of walking around the world and fighting these creatures and finding them, and they all have their unique habits and animations. Their pre-evolutions hang out with their evolutions a lot, so it's like this cool like disposition where you sometimes see like the babies hanging out around like the evolved form like a mother. I fuck with like it's like adding in traditional animal shit while also just like exploring an area, and I feel like I'm just naturally running across this shit. It's not like all of a sudden. Not granted, the pop-in's a bitch, but then again, I play fucking Sword and Shield, and Sword and Shield has that too. Not to this ridiculous of a greed, mind you, but it's there. I fuck a lot with the traversal. I like that I can just climb shit. Unfortunately, you don't get this ability until later.
I'm about to say.
But the fact that the game gives me the option to just kind of
Hey, that's
sword.
very, very cool. That's I keep saying every fucking open world game needs climbing and gliding, and right now that's a game that does it. So I'm
The only
happy
thing that sucks is obviously the pop in,
And then
the
you
lack
just
of
suddenly
detail.
drop too on your.
Yeah. Oh hi. I see you're just hanging
Side
out in the
duck.
water.
What's the
Oh,
only?
what? You
My
knew
God,
the name.
You knew the name.
You knew the
Wow.
name. What the fuck? I
said-
appreciate it.
I'm a Pokemon.
Robert, what'd you
fan.
say about that's the only game that does what?
No, I said that not that the only game. I said that open world games need gliding and climbing.
Yeah, like you just it's a good way of showing
I'm
how
glad to
expansive
see
the
that
world
at
is.
least has
Yeah.
both.
I like that they show the Pokemon in the other.
Immortals.
This
They
water
should-
looks better than Arceus.
No, I'm not discounting. I'm saying every fucking open world game needs that.
Needs to
And I
have
like-
it now. Yeah,
and
I,
I
I
like-
got you.
And the other thing is, I like
That's
that
dope.
the
That's the
bat-
dopest thing.
the battles take place like in real time and shit. So
Yeah.
it's not like in the older games, you used to fight somebody and go into this weird void.
Then they
and
wipe this shit, and then you
Oh,
just
there's
like,
that dude behind there.
Yeah.
It looks like starts with
You
a
should
B.
know that one. Yeah, you're right. You got the first letter right. Absolutely.
It rhymes with weasel.
Actually, yeah, that's literally he actually he almost just gave it to you realistically.
So is this your game of the year?
it's too early.
I don't
It's too
know.
early.
It's too early,
It
and I
is.
haven't
It's your
finished.
number 1.5.
It is.
It's not. Don't
No,
don't
too early.
just claim.
Don't, yeah, let the man.
Don't just
figure this out.
claim that shit.
It's
a
only
good
gonna
game.
get better for him.
But listen,
Come on, I said the same thing with Sword and
Bill-
Shield. You said the same thing. I don't know. Fire Emblem's pretty good, and
all right. To
I'm
be
just
fair,
calling
I
it.
think. To be fair, I think Sword and Shield was
you haven't started Sonic yet, have you?
actually it's still in the case. Oh wait, you can't see. I got the fucking game on. Hold on. Let me
Yeah, that
switch
is
my-
nuts, bro. That is nuts. This man had Xenoblade, Pokemon, and two Pokemon, and Sonic in
The
a
best
year.
Sonic
He got
game
everything he wanted.
in 10 years, and he hasn't even opened it
No
yet.
Cinnamon
He has
Kagura,
excited.
Hey,
though.
not yet.
Dude, that's,
It's a-
that game's better than
it's
Super Mario Odyssey in every way.
No, I'm not gonna listen.
That's all I
I
said on
enjoy-
Twitter.
That's what
listen,
I saw on Twitter, so it must be true.
Who said that on Twitter? Who said it on
Bro,
Twitter?
I
I've seen a
seen
couple.
that.
I've seen multiple people saying that now.
Bruh, that
seen
thread
that.
was the
That
most.
is disrespectful, low key.
Bruh. Sonic
But-
fan, I love y'all, man, but y'all y'all crazy.
Let's
Y'all
check
are
the
wild
Steam. Let's
there.
check the score on Steam. Let's get an update.
Almost everybody who's played it said
It's gonna be overwhelmingly positive, yo, for sure.
no, because not every Sonic game gets
They
that.
had
but
like
I-
a 8 or 9
Yeah, but
on.
bro, do you not know this? This is a
Steam.
different type of game, man.
Oh no, it definitely is.
This is a game
It's an
that's
open-
getting. This is a
it's
game
an
that's
open
getting.
zone. It's
Look,
open
there you go.
zone, yo.
95%
There you go.
overwhelming positive.
Why do you
Steam?
think? Why do you think it's because it's people are at least the people are enjoying it. AK for Sonic fans, that means it's a masterpiece.
Well, yeah.
I like how that's.
See,
I
that's
hate
what I'm
that-
saying.
I hate that that's the goalpost. Like I hate that it's like it's
What
like
did that
if Son-
tweet have? Juice? Did it have like 4,000 likes or something? The one that said it's
I
better
don't know.
than Odyssey.
Yeah,
Like, it was like-
they
People
were
were
like,
saying-
yeah,
It was just
it's
such-
It
over.
went into some severe Odyssey hate too. There's some people just
Yeah, it was
really-
like straight
Wow.
hate. Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
man,
yo,
that's
that's
Jesus Christ.
disrespectful. That's disrespectful.
Like,
It's
Sonic
like,
fans,
man,
man,
why you gotta,
yeah.
why you gotta, come
They
on,
trying
man,
to
why you
bring- they trying to bring the
gotta
rivalry
bring some of
back
this
up.
shit on something else? Like, just enjoy your damn game.
Hey,
man.
boy,
Yeah.
listen, it's fine. Mario got its new trailer tomorrow, so it's going
I've
to
seen
go
it
right
before.
back.
I
It's
stumbled
no
on this
swing.
one channel and the guy, he couldn't talk up Sonic without talking down Mario. I'm like,
That's how
bruh,
you know that
why you biting the hand that feeds you? First of all, because you know, like, Sonic. Most of its sales happen on our console, my friend.
That is true. That is true.
You know, somebody
Even this game.
when they have to criticize the competition in order to try to make the thing they're talking about sound better, you know, that's when they don't have as much. Like, if you just legit had a bunch of good points to make about a game, you wouldn't bring up something that came out 6 years ago or whatever, 5 years ago.
Like, there was a time back in the day, like, that made sense. Like, oh yeah, Mario versus Sonic, right? That was the thing. Because I wouldn't say they were on equal footing, but as far as likability and, like, you know, popularity, they were pretty close during the Super Nintendo Sega Genesis era. But even then, the games, you know, Sonic had more games, like in the like traditional straight up Sonic games, whereas, you know, Mario only had World during that era. And I guess you could count Yoshi's Island, but not really. So Sonic was, you know, it was pumping his chest out a little bit, you know, but it was still not that close as far as game design.
Don't get me wrong, though. If the Super Mario movie comes out and it's amazing, first thing I'm going to say is better than that trash Sonic movie. Better than that Sonic 2 movie, that's for sure.
Don't be like that.
Well, I'll put it this way. The way I always will say, comparing the movies, even now without seeing the Mario movie yet, Sonic unfortunately capped itself with adding in the human characters. There's a level of like fuckery that's gonna be in every Sonic film that I'm not gonna care about.
Yeah.
Now, I give
like
Sonic
like
the
how
wedding,
Jesus' favorite wedding
Bridezilla.
scene.
the only pass that part of the film gets is because they tied it back in with the whole gun thing from like Sonic Adventure 2. I fuck with it.
That's cool.
But it's never gonna like, the potential for a Mario film is still through the roof. Whereas I feel like Sonic's is hit the ceiling because you have these fucking humans in here. It's just that's the problem. Like, the potential will always be high. By the way, we got a bunch of leaked images for the film.
Oh no.
The only the only thing I recently posted it in the Messenger. They have a size chart. I didn't realize how lizard-like Bowser looks in this film, but that's also because I haven't really seen him under like bright light. If y'all look at the image I posted in the message in the message chat, he looks very, I don't know. I think they're going with like a more classic look for him. It feels like he's very more like his old school look than his like newer look.
That.
It's just an interesting look. It's just something interesting I noticed. I'm very excited for the trailer tomorrow.
Yeah,
see how they handle.
I'm not going to show the trailer during this podcast next week, though.
Well, I would hope not.
They copyright that shit.
I would have felt like you learned your lesson.
You don't want to repeat?
Get that 2-peat, baby.
So let's get back to Pokemon for a second, because they
Pokemon.
we got some Sandstorm has some opinions, Retro has some opinions. I'll just say I was gonna buy it based on the open world and, you know, some of the things. I was a little bummed that you can't just catch a Pokemon by sneaking up on them, throwing the ball. You have to battle them to catch them. But like I said earlier, I have trouble buying a game that's so obviously shipped before it was, you know, not like content-wise finished, but as far as optimization, what do they call that final stage? It's not optimization. There's another word. But, you know, just making sure the game doesn't have bugs or glitches, and
it's actually gold when they say.
You mean like play testing?
But there's a word.
There's a word. I know. I can't think of it either.
Basically, you go through a period where you just say we're gonna clean up the game, polish the game. So, you know,
no, man.
I know the game isn't gonna get a price drop, but you know, if I saw it, let's say for Black Friday, it dropped to like 40, I would have picked it up. You know,
I didn't buy the game, but.
Oh, you got the Switch.
That is the sweetest. Hands down. The sweetest one.
He bought an OLED,
that is the Switch. So how many Switches do you have in total now?
Well, I own, from me personally, if not counting my kids.
Yes, at least 4. I would think.
4. Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to
hate the Switch. It's all about the Wii U, right? I got 4 Switches. Shut up.
How many Wii U's you got though?
2.
There you go. At least.
Yeah, that sounds about
So
right.
anyway, like it does look like it's the game and stuff. They made some good choices. It just sucks that technically it just looks like it needed. To me it looks like no at least 6 months because
Yeah.
I think
unlike
it would.
Terrell,
I think
I don't believe like you're gonna get a performance patch unless going off of the overclockers.
I need that.
Going off the overclockers, basically you have to drop the game to 540 and overclock GPU and CPU, and it still can't hit a lock 30. It's like 90% of the time. So and that's at 540. It looks
it's
it
just
looks
poorly
rough.
designed.
It looks rough. I mean, it almost looks like a Wii game at that point. It's really.
The problem with that is that
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I feel that I think they wanted more time. It feels there's stuff in the game that was gonna be more, and they were just like, no, let's just not make this bigger. For example, in the beginning of the game, the character gets put in a dorm in school, and they make a really big point about that dorm room. And you're thinking, oh, maybe it's like the old games, like your secret base. You got to customize it. You go back with this stuff, and like it never gets addressed again.
Nope.
Just like your clothing. Like the previous game had all this clothing and stuff, and now you get like shoes and socks. But it's like, okay, I'm thinking I'm gonna get these cool clothes and stuff, and I'm looking through at all these towns where these fucking shops I can buy a shirt. And every store has like a backpack and sock. I'm like, I don't need fucking socks. You don't see your socks through your shoes. What's the point? I want a shirt, and like it's just not in the game.
They make a deal about showing it off in one of the trailers too, as you can switch and change your clothing and all that.
Yeah.
It's like, nah.
I personally, I would argue, I think they intentionally do. I think that was intentional, at least the clothing. The reason why, and this is a feeling I have. It's very much trying to do the whole school vibe. So it's like, oh, well, you have assigned uniform, so your outfit can't change too much. I don't necessarily agree with it, but the vibe I get is that was an intentional choice. I don't like it, but because the other thing is the school thing that I didn't even realize, and I heard from other people, you can go in there and study books and create relationships with like the nurse and the fucking professors and shit. Nice. And I was like, hold up, what? Like I found it. I was playing it like last night, and they were like, "Bro, go talk to the nurse." And I'm like, "For what?" They even do the persona thing. They were like, "Your relationship with Miss Miriam has increased," and I was like,
"Nice.
What the fuck are you?
One step closer to dating simulator, man.
One of them
step closer.
One of them is an Elite Four, so you can have a full conversation. I don't know if you know that part, Terrell, but yeah,
I knew one of them was. I wasn't sure which one though. Because I haven't fought the Elite Four yet.
Neither have I. But he comes and talks to you, and he's like, "Oh, by the way."
You're talking about the what's his name? The art teacher, I think, is what he is.
I think so. Yeah, he's like, "By the way, come to my class." And you're like, "Wait a minute, you're Elite Four. You teach here?"
And he does. I think some of that shit was openly deliberate, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds fucking cool as fuck." Like I low key want to go back and start reading the books before I do the Elite Four, but I also want to do the Elite Four, so we'll see what happens.
So that's what I also like about the gym trainers, for example. They're not just waiting at the gym. It's like they go out of their way to show that they have lives and jobs and different things that they keep doing in the game, like professions and stuff. And then, oh wait, that's right, I have a gym battle because I'm the gym leader, and then they go out of their way to go there and stuff. I really enjoy that stuff.
Yeah, like the psychic gym leader is she's a model. The bug gym leader is a pastry chef. Like I fuck with that kind of stuff.
The normal gym leader is literally a businessman. He's like, "Yo, can we kind of hurry this battle up? Because
I love it.
My boss is gonna be on my ass."
The funny thing is, they all have like some of them have like these Japanese sounding names. What's the normal gym leader's name? Larry.
Yeah, so as normal as you can get.
Had me in tears.
Do you think there's any like benefit to having some voice acting in that game?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
You know what? So here's the thing.
It felt weird in Arceus. It felt weird in Arceus to have like this open world. I mean, it's not the most graphically impressive game, but I thought it looked really good. And you got seemed like they put a lot into the story, and then it's just like you're just reading. It's dead silent. You just barely hear. You might hear some chirping or something.
I'll give you
over that. I think it's the next thing that needs to. Come on, man. Let's get.
I'll give you two examples of why it's a problem. Sword and Shield example, and then Scarlet and Violet one. Sword and Shield has a gym leader who is a fucking rock star. Like literally, he does punk rock and everything. And they give him a cutscene where he's rocking out and singing, and you hear nothing. The scene is just him. You see the lyrics come up on screen. And he's just mouthing
singing
out
and you
the
still have
lyrics.
to read it.
Yeah, you have to read it.
Is there any
Scarlet-
sound? Any music or anything?
Yeah, there is music. There's music,
Okay.
but there's no voice acting. The Scarlet and Violet has a rapper. It's the she's the elderly black woman. They got her out here rapping. She has like a concert in the game, and once again, full cutscene, music and everything. No fucking no voice. No voice.
Man, that's insane.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Well, they
Yeah.
would have needed way more time to implement that. So I will say to the people who say the game is either it's the hardware limitations is the problem or it's unoptimized. Digital Foundry actually made a really good point. I don't care for the Oliver guy who does
Did they have a
the
video up on it yet? They got a video?
They
Yeah.
did a video?
and
Okay.
he
missed it.
showed. He says actually they went to great lengths to optimize the game because they implemented dynamic resolution scaling that's fairly aggressive. They have the draw distance, pretty aggressive, so that some of the pop in is some of the issue. They have the where the frame rate drops on distant objects and Pokemon and stuff like that's
There's
they actually have to do that and even with all that in place, because the windmill even gets down to 2 frames per second before it stops spinning at a decent distance away, because we made fun of that windmill in that trailer.
Yeah.
It drops to 2 frames per second at a certain distance, and then you back up further and it stops moving. So they went through and they actually like shadows disappear to try to help with the performance. So they actually did quite a bit, which makes it even worse when you think about it, because they had to do all that and it still drops into the low to mid 20s frequently.
Seems like you're alluding to, because you were talking about the modders and whatnot and how they were overclocking and getting stuff to work. I mean, I think you were alluding to it being a hardware issue. I mean, it's still a hardware issue at the end of the day. Obviously, the Switch is not the most powerful thing out there, but you can brute force a lot of problems out of a game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can, if you have frame rate issues and whatnot, you can brute force those things out. But I still believe that it's just looking at other games on the Switch, it could have been better if they would have optimized better.
It feels like Terrell was thinking it's a different game engine from Arceus. Arceus actually performs quite a bit better.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was a different engine.
But also Arceus has some really static, like there's that spot in the it's like the volcano marshy area, not a volcano,
yeah,
the marshy area. There's that yellow grass. It looks like wheatgrass,
Yeah.
and it doesn't. It's just like a static yellow, like solid color texture. It looks like, I feel like the new game is well beyond that kind of stuff.
I think I'm very caught in the middle with it, because I very much think, I don't want to say they didn't do anything, but it also doesn't feel like, it feels like having more time would have definitely benefited the game. So I don't want to say that they were, a lot of people are like, oh, they were just being lazy. I don't think they were being lazy. I think the problem is, and I've said it before, Pokemon stuck on that fucking development cycle, because the rest of the franchise hinges on a new game and new mods to make new cards and new merch and all this other shit. So they have a time limit in which they have to make a new generation. The current time limit seems to be about 3 years between generations.
And that's probably fine if they didn't have to make other games in between.
I don't understand. It tripped me out, because I was like, okay, you're not doing the remakes anymore. Like, another developer's handling that. That should free up some resources. Then you throw out Arceus, like, what was it, 9 months? And then I'm like, this game comes out. I'm like, bro, why didn't y'all just focus on the Scarlet and Violet? Y'all know this is the main money
Or
maker.
Arceus could have been
This year's
could have
Pokemon
been
game.
the holiday game, and they could have really polished that game up and had it.
I don't understand. I don't hate that Arceus exists or that it came out, because I think they just got inspired and they wanted to try something. And I very much appreciate that.
I'm down for
But
that.
But
I'd
it
just get more.
felt like the other game got low key punished because of it. And I'm like, fuck. They need
So
they need more time and more people. That's really what it is.
So there's a area, and I know both of you guys have already passed it. And actually, it's around the windmill area. When you're doing the gym battle, there's this interesting little thing that they do where you have to catch the Sunflora.
Oh,
And
around the town.
yeah,
Those things run at really low frame rate when you
yeah, and
Those
for
things
whatever
run at like 5
reason,
frames a second, bro.
all of the Sunflora run at really low frames, but you manage to still have like in the upper 20s,
It's
lower
so
20s there. And it's like
yeah,
all of
it's
those around
weird.
you, but you're doing good. Like,
That that's weird, right? Like how do
how is
you
that
program
possible?
something to work that way?
I mean,
You know,
if they didn't do it though, I honestly, if they didn't implement that, or if they tried to pick, let's say like Wii U, we'll talk about Wii U later. Those games were all native, like 720p, no question. There was no adaptive resolution. It was just 720p, and uh, Scarlet, targets 1080, but the average over whatever 2 hours of gameplay they recorded was like 840p or something. Drops down to 720 at worst, and rarely hits 1080. And so it's like basically a 900p that dips a little bit under that.
lock that bitch at 720 and get the fucking frame
That's
rate up.
that's what I said about the overclockers. They overclocked the CPU GPU and had to trick the docked mode to think it was in portable, so it did the portable settings, which has, I think that averages 540 with dips into 480 territory. Also reduced details. Poppins, I think, it's worse, and
I mean, most people
I feel like
want
that's
the
where the game
performance. Like
crashes the most.
these,
and it
you
crashes.
know,
Yeah,
the Xbox dudes with their Series X and the PS5 guys, because ray tracing is a thing now, and it bogs your system down, and all this stuff. And they're like, "Where's all these features we're supposed to have for our next gen consoles?" They're all coming around to the fact that we care more about the frame rate than we do about the resolution. Lock that shit at 1080p. I don't care. I want 60 frames. And so that should have been the case for this game. Lock that bitch at 720 and get it to 30 frames. I mean, come on.
yeah, because I'd rather
So
have a consistent, like consistent resolution if you could
Right.
have a consistent frame rate, like, or give us the option, do a dynamic setting and do a performance setting. Like that's why people were kind of quote unquote outraged
Yeah,
over
do the Odyssey thing. If you play Odyssey, the characters in the background, even they run at a lesser frame
Mhm.
rate, and you get closer to them, and they run a regular frame rate. So
But it's crazy because that was a launch game, technically
that was a launch
a
game.
Wii U
That was a
game.
Wii U game, basically.
And
Yeah.
somebody, I think it was during the Digital Foundry video, because they were showing Xenoblade, and they really compared it a lot to Arceus, though. And they're like, this game was supposedly the
I gotta
short
watch that.
development cycle game, and here it is outperforming. Now, it did have more simplistic, like I said, grass. The water looks
Mhm.
way more, what do they call it, like tile textures, where the water looks terrible in Arceus. Even though I
yeah,
think that overall, I enjoyed how that game looked. But seeing Odyssey, like, I haven't played Odyssey in a couple years. Going from
I
Pokemon,
went back.
showing Pokemon shots during that, and then switching to Odyssey at 60, I was like, holy shit, Odyssey just
Odyssey's gorgeous,
looks
bro.
amazing for pretty much a lock 60 for a launch
A launch year game.
Wii U game. Like, it's just crazy to me. I know Pokemon's doing something way different, and they're
Yeah.
not the most. They never have been the most technically sound company for their games, but you think they maybe would think that it's time
Like
to
Terrell
hire
was saying,
somebody.
he said they should have more. I mean, it just needs more people. Blah blah. I'm like, why don't they have this stuff? You make enough goddamn money, you should be able to have
Yeah,
these
I don't.
teams.
That's the part that I very much believe they're just being fucking cheap
Hire
about.
somebody to
Yeah,
make the
cheap.
game engine or to use
Which
it.
I understand, because it's you want to be a sustainable company, right? You don't want to blow up to the fact
Yeah,
to
like-
where, like Call of Duty, and you have like 1,000 people working on it.
The
You don't
question
want
is how much is too much, but how much is enough? Like,
or
yes.
ask Monolith again. They help
That
out
would
with
make the
everything else.
most sense to me.
Yeah.
But then again, Monolith has been busy with
I
Xenoblade
wonder-
3,
I
and
wonder
they're
if
probably
the-
helping with Zelda.
I wonder if they took the Xenoblade engine applied the Scarlet Violet art style to it, what kind of results they could get. What kind of, because Xenoblade, it has some pretty big resolution drops during some battles.
Yeah, it does.
There's some pretty low res sections, but there's a lot of giant enemies. You got what, 7 in your party? You're fighting 3-4 large enemies, effects, all this lighting stuff's going on. Yeah, I can understand, but there's no reason for. I mean, I don't even think it's an exaggeration to say some of the, like, when you were just playing there, you looked over when you were gliding, and Robert was talking about how you had to glide in those games. If you look at the distant buildings and stuff, I mean, they were just solid colors. Like, there's no textures at that range.
Yeah.
But I do like the color palette.
This is a good example of a weird, where it's obviously scaled back, but for some reason they still kept the wind flowing for the
Yeah,
grass.
that's weird. You see
You can literally see the fucking grass and shit, but for some reason they were like, "Oh, is there a Pokemon up here? You are up here. What the fuck is
you will never be able to get them either.
If you look at the buildings, go back.
What?
Those buildings right there. It's
That's
not
funny.
ridiculous to say that from this distance, those are like, that's like GameCube level structure, like basic. That's how basic they look at the distance.
GameCube, they like N64.
Maybe in between.
Yeah.
But
which is fine because
see, and then also they look a lot better now. Like that's what they were saying about how it's, they're actually doing a lot to try to get this game to run as good as it can. So it's not like, I wouldn't say that's lazy. They've done quite a bit. It just sucks that it didn't come with a better result.
They just need more time.
Yeah,
it's plain and simple. They needed more time.
You can go to the top of that mountain.
Yeah, you can.
You can go virtually anywhere except for the closed.
See, like, just
area,
watching this, it's like, yeah, I'd rather be playing this than fucking Plague Tale.
If I go up,
Plague Tale is like one of the most realistic visuals I've ever seen in a game, and I'd rather be playing this.
It is a different game.
Yeah.
It is a
so
different
I'm just
kind
saying
of
that it
game.
doesn't, like, I'm not like, it's not a make or break.
It's a
based
pretty
on the
big
visuals.
world, man. How big is this world?
Yeah, the world is
I
massive.
don't know. I don't really know how to compare it to other open world games in terms of size. But I guess I don't know about Retro or Sandstorm. How big would you say this shit is? Like,
Is it bigger than Darksiders 2?
Only Retro would be able
to.
Darksiders 2 is a segmented overworld. So it doesn't
Segmented,
actually care.
I would say that it's not bigger. It's obviously not bigger than Breath of the Wild.
See, like, looking at the distance there, like, that's fine. It's got the, I don't mind the haziness for something in the distance like that.
That's all right.
That looks pretty.
I don't. There's.
Atari Jaguar. That's fine.
Yeah.
Jaguar.
Yeah.
Now, if you
It's a deep
compared
cut for you.
this to like Xenoblade or Breath of the Wild, like in a distant shot like that, side by side, you're gonna be like, holy shit! Like, how is this the same system?
It's not the biggest overworld, but I'm constantly surprised with how big it actually is.
It's pretty big. You'd be surprised as to how big it is.
I will say
you also have all these caves, and none of it requires loading.
That's what fucked me up.
Yeah,
these caves are surprisingly dense, and I'm like, that's a little surprising, and they don't load like Retro was
Why does
saying.
that Pokemons have legs and wheels? That don't make sense.
Hey, listen, don't.
Stupid. That's why we got Violet. He doesn't make sense.
But Violet doesn't have wings. Violet has a stupid glider thing.
That is true.
He's got virtual wings.
Are they
Yeah,
animals? Robots? I don't know.
It's magical. It's magical.
Yeah,
See, this is how I know it's his game of the year. We're in the middle of the podcast, and dude's been playing this twice now.
No, listen, we're talking about Pokemon.
Is that him or a part of his body? So if you
Yes.
That's like his
The thing
balls.
about the game is just it's addictive. You just can't stop
Is
playing.
it you just say it's his balls,
Yeah.
boy? What is happening?
That's his
He
genitals.
rides big. He rides big.
Ow!
I fuck with this shit. This is
Why
their
those deer look so
pre-evolution
small?
because those are the children.
No, the main one looks tiny.
Oh, the big one.
He's on a beast,
Maybe it's
bro.
a
There's
girl.
actually size
Maybe it's a girl.
differences in Pokemon as well. The same Pokemon can be different
Still, it
sizes.
looks a little small compared to her. That's a
Really?
small
You
deer.
think so?
Yeah.
I mean, I think
I just
think
saw
it's-
some deer this morning on my way to work, and they're like the head.
This
like,
is a Pokemon
It's a
game.
Pokemon,
I know.
yo.
It is
but I'm just saying,
Pokemon.
scale wise, to have a deer be like that small to
Yo,
a human looks weird.
look at this fucking look at. Oh my god!
of
This
the
guy has
game
cameras to this baby deer.
It's not
That's
called. It's
the
not.
baby
Listen,
deer.
it's not justified, and they also run off in certain fights. I do fuck with that. I
Taste
think I
that
noticed.
baby deer. That little
I think
thing.
his
never
head actually follows me. I didn't realize that before.
See, if this was a good game, you'd be able to ride that deer.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
I can
wow.
listen.
Wow.
Listen. He would.
Wow.
Oh, I know that
He's
guy.
a big guy, man. He can ride
Oh!
the big guy. Oh, is that
You
an
wanna
evolution
jump out of the
deer
way,
of,
dive.
Listen. I can't dive. You know damn well I don't have a diving. Well, actually, I have a
I will
crouching
say-
animation.
I will say one of the, you can tell when they're designing the world. There's a lot of like sharp edges. I remember when Xenoblade Chronicles X first got shown. I remember it was like Black Bond or somebody's like, look at those straight, like the water met the
that
land.
was
He's
him.
like, look at those straight
that.
lines, and you know, like, but I see a lot of that in this game. But who cares? You know, it's like,
Yeah,
who
it's a
gives
game.
shit?
Terrell, how
You
you
have
feel
to-
about
Oh,
the
look how
difficulty?
look. Oh, come on, that looks cool.
Terrell,
See,
how
that
you feel
looks
about
good.
the difficulty? Or I guess I should ask Retro too. How do you feel about the difficulty?
It kind of
That's a
depends. Well, let me ask you a
controversial-
question in the sandstorm. Are you just traveling, or are you did you look up a guide like for like the levels?
Hey, I'm just traveling, brother. You know, I have
so
no
here-
clue who is what level.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I did look up a guide to some degree
Oh,
because the one thing I can't stand is the lack of level scaling. That shit pisses me the fuck off.
Why is it diamond?
This is like the gimmick of the game.
Restrial, yeah.
Yeah, like they can change type. If they're shining like that, they're a different type than what they're
So
regular are.
if this but if this Pokemon drops the hammer, is it possible to drop the hammer?
No,
like, is that-
this is a
now
part of the
that is a-
character.
So like
He-
literally, it like in canon, right? That person like
See
it's
what
a
the
skin.
Pokemon-
what
I
happens
mean,
if you just have him at your picnic? Does he have the hammer?
To put the hammer
Yeah,
down?
she has the hammer, and she will. Oh, I'll show it to you in a second. I just want
You
to
will
fucking
literally
kill this.
slide
All right,
with
this ain't
that
gonna be
hammer?
we gotta move on to the Wii U here at some real quick.
Yeah, we're running out of
Yeah,
time.
man.
I'm just saying,
We
like,
need to
it's,
stop talking about this Pokemon
This
trash
is definitely
ass
Terrell's
performance
game of the year. Though.
dropping-
I'm gonna,
relax.
the only
damn
way it won't be is if he says, "Fuck it, I ain't gonna let Juice be right. I'm gonna pick Bayonetta."
What?
Yeah,
Out of spite?
Honestly, that's don't
Frontiers.
speak with your heart, yo. If it's your game of the year, it's your game of the
I
year.
don't know. He
but
might
if it's
boot
not,
up
it's not.
Sonic Frontiers
Be like,
tonight, and next week he's got 30 hours in it.
If
That's-
Sonic Frontiers, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about Sonic Frontiers at all. I'm be rude.
You're gonna love it.
Terrell, I know you're not an OG Pokemon fan. You know why I know that? Because you didn't
Why?
press down an A. You didn't
No,
press down
I
an
wasn't
B.
gonna dress down an A. Listen.
Man.
That is
Name it, man.
I'm not gonna name it because we're in the middle of something.
All right.
And
so,
also, the frame rate's shitting itself. The
It's-
frame rate is definitely shitting itself. Oh, I gotta get out of here.
The snowman. The
you better
snow's too
reboot.
big.
You gotta move it to the SD
You
card.
gotta restart it.
SD card. That's fixed. And then Nintendo Life says it makes a slight difference versus
Does
the,
it?
versus the
I need-
internal memory.
Well, that's not working.
I will
then.
definitely try. Wait, you have to put it to the SD card? I
You
thought it
gotta
was
have
other
the
way
game
around.
on the SD cards from
That's
what I
weird.
heard.
Really?
Well,
That is.
I could be wrong, but that's what
By
I
the
saw.
way, Xenoblade Chronicles X cheated because you had those download packs.
Mm-hmm.
So
It had
maybe
download
this
packs?
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, that's true. Why
Oh,
don't
I
they do something
forgot
like
about
that, man?
that.
Why don't they do something like
people
that?
forget that.
Some
You
people
had to
don't like.
if you wanted it to perform well, you had to download portions of the game.
I'm curious as to why don't
Some
they do that
people
with this game?
they like to admit
Just
or
question.
forget that was a thing when they talk about how
What the hell is
I don't
that?
like to install in my games. Well, when you can do it to improve performance and load times, you fucking do it. You
Yeah.
know? So
I'm curious if they're able to do that. That's a good idea, to be honest.
Well, I
I
don't know if
mean-
they can do it now.
I mean, because it's already installed. It's a digital game for him.
Yeah.
So
Terrell,
Yeah,
you
it's
have
a-
a balanced team.
No, but maybe they could. I don't know. I guess I don't know.
I tried to be balanced as I could.
And
on-
on packs now.
I
I
said
wanted
F that. I'm trying to go in like Ash, have 3 of the same types for no reason.
all right,
Oh,
we're done.
you just
We're done.
Just
Moving on.
be inconvenient. I want him.
Let's
I
moving
want-
on,
talk
nerds.
about the greatest system.
I want
Not
her to-
no
We're
person
moving
that
on,
can't
nerds.
drop a hammer, or else they die.
No, she lets.
Pokemon.
Okay, so all right. Let me just quickly explain it since she's not gonna fucking do it. When she sleeps, she'll actually put the hammer down and sleep on top of the hammer, so
That's
she can't
bizarre.
let it.
So
Go.
that's not actually a part of her.
No.
It's just that's her favorite thing.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah,
I just
okay.
realized these things have frost.
You want
on
me to
them.
put the hammer
that's
down
cool.
or Josh
That's-
Whedon?
Oh yeah,
back-
they do got frost on them.
Oh yeah,
So
little
like,
frost.
yeah,
That's
the
cool.
bird. I didn't notice that. That's a nice effect.
See, those
Did not
little
notice that.
details, I always talk about that can really make a game or elevate it to the
It
next
has its
level.
problems, but god damn it,
Man, look at that
the,
shadow.
co-
That
the
shadow
core
look
of this
good.
game is based in goatedness. It just needs to get out. Of the
Goatedness.
kinks.
Oh boy, see, that's
It's based in it.
Oh,
That sounds like game of the year.
Yes,
Goatee.
yes.
Look at that! Look at that
Relax.
shadow resolution at about 50p, I think.
Listen, we're not gonna be perfect with this bitch.
Where's the ray tracing mod?
You're asking for a lot here, okay?
They do look good. The Pokemon themselves do look good to me.
They look good.
When have they not?
Has he got snow on his actual feathers or fur?
Yeah,
Yeah.
See?
that's why I said it was a nice
Now
effect.
go up and pet
Nice
one,
little touches
Terrell.
there. Nice little touches.
Oh,
Oh,
it's-
yes,
this is not gonna work as well as you want.
The snow actually gradually appears on the Pokemon when it starts.
It's
Talking
not gonna
about
let-
snow, man. Talking about snow.
Oh, look at that.
It was.
That's like in Xenoblade Chronicles X that Retrodeath like to point out that the cars go through you, but
You know.
Oh, it happens
Pokemon
here.
go
All
through you
these-
now.
Yeah, during the picnic, you can interact with them, but you will walk through all these bitches.
Well, I'll say that talking about snowman, it was December of 2012 when I picked up my Wii U.
Was it? I was remember. Before we get
That's
into
fair.
that though, real quick.
Damn.
Shit.
All right, I'll cut this off.
Yeah, to cut that off, it just
I'm gonna save the game
I
and
was
cut
gonna
it
bring up
off. So I
one
won't hear
quick
any more
thing
else.
before.
0 out of 10.
Well, Lenny, game is great. I'm enjoying it.
Do you think I would like it, Terrell? Compare if I liked Arceus, do you think I would like it?
No.
How much? Here's the problem. You like Arceus, but it was very much a one and done thing for you, for what I
I
remember.
put 50 hours in.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's a lot of
especially-
time from Robert's
It's a
perspective.
ton of fucking time.
Did you?
Bro, it's 2 full
was like a
days of
couple-
your entire life into a game.
Juice,
I
did you
s-
like the fact that you didn't have to battle other people like that to that degree?
Yeah, I didn't want to be battling. I didn't really
Okay,
love
then
the
yeah, you're
battling
not.
other people that much.
The good
It's not
news is
for
that
you,
in this game you can pick whether you fight trainers or not.
I did
you're-
like that I could get strategic with it and pick better Pokemon and go back and learn
I think
from my defeat.
okay. If you like Arceus, I think you would enjoy it. I think you would enjoy it more than Arceus.
Well, you could just say I am a arse man, so
Yeah. The
Nice.
point is, I think you would enjoy it. You would enjoy it more on a. I think you would enjoy it more than Arceus. I'll say that. I think I'm confident to make that statement.
Wow. That's,
get
pretty,
better
that's a lot of
pictures, at
confidence, man. That's some big
You
confidence.
now listen. He's gonna
that was the
fucking
photo mode.
You get better camera pictures.
All right,
Yeah.
let's move on.
All right. Anyway, so
He's got the cat.
was it the
It's over.
19th of November or 18th? Somebody.
18th.
18th of November.
I'm gonna start.
Do you remember?
So, the Wii I did not get at launch. Didn't get till February of 2007. So the last
How'd you get one in February of 07? How'd you pull that one off?
Best Buy 5 in the morning,
Oh, okay.
well played.
20 degrees out.
you. I hear you on that.
So GameCube was the last system I had at launch before the Wii U. So that was 11 years. And I did go to the PS3 launch, just walked around the stores just to see all the lines and stuff. But I didn't actually buy nothing. So I went to Wii U, and I have to tell you guys, because I wasn't on YouTube then, the months leading up to Wii U, I had no intention of buying it. I was not excited. I was not impressed. I was not sold on the
Sessions.
asymmetric gameplay. I wasn't seeing anything worth getting a system for at launch based on like the early stuff. Then I saw a little more, some later levels in New Super Mario Brothers U, and I was like, fuck, a new Mario game in HD, 2D Mario and a home console in HD. Is like, I gotta get it. So I just decided when I got home from work, I'll just go to Myers, which is like a version of Walmart for those that don't have Myers in your area. It's just a nicer version of Walmart, and they were open 24 hours back then. So I go and I'm like, all right, I'll get there like 9 o'clock, 9:30. Bring my 3DS. I was playing Super Mario 3D Land. I was trying to beat that last level, that really hard last level. It's like, I got a couple hours. I'll try to finish this. And I'm there. One other guy's there. Is younger, a little bit younger than me, and we just start chatting. I think we even played some Smash Brothers on 3DS or something. Or no, that wouldn't have been out yet.
No,
What
way
were we
later.
playing?
Time travel.
We played something.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's showing out.
Oh, later I ran into that guy at the Smash Wii U launch, and we.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And some amiibo launches. But anyway, I'm like, all right. How many the deluxe you have? We got 3 of those, and we got 7 of the standard. And I'm like, hey, I want the white one. I like how it looks. I'm gonna get the white one. And I'm standing there. Hour goes by, still me and him. About probably 11:30ish. One other person shows up, a lady, and she's like, "Is the Wii U launching or whatever?" I don't even know I can't remember if she knew what it was called. And I was like, "Well, I might as well get the deluxe." They got 3. There's 3 of us. I said, "I'll just get the deluxe." And they didn't have any games. They didn't have any games there. They just had the system.
Really?
So
What?
I mean, talk about lack of fanfare. There's 3 of us sitting there in the store, and no excitement. No one's like, we're not talking. No one, the other 2 people. There was no like anticipation. We were just, oh cool. Give them the 370, whatever it was, and it's like, I guess I'll go looking for games tomorrow. So I get the system. You had the 40 minutes.
Sad.
You had the update, the day 1 update. I played Nintendo Land. I'm gonna tell you probably 30 minutes. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to bed and get up tomorrow. Go find some games. It was the most unexciting first night of a system owning a system in my ever. I mean,
You had that little fun with Nintendo Land, even at
I played it
launch,
late. I
man?
mean, I ended up
Yeah.
with like
He was
10
tired.
hours in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Was it more or less unexciting than GameCube?
Well, GameCube didn't have a midnight launch, so I just went to the store, picked it up with Madden, Star Wars, and
What was your excitement level?
when I
Star
was
Wars.
walking out, I ran into a guy I knew, my brother's friend, and I was getting at the age where I wasn't sure if I was gonna keep gaming or not. But when I got home, like I played that shit, like, I mean Madden, and I found out that it took up the whole memory card, so I had to go get another one the next day. But I would say GameCube wasn't that much more exciting, but
Okay.
Wii U was. That was the anticlimactic is the word I would use for that. And then the next morning I got up, I went to Walmart and got new Super Mario Brothers U, and that was that was it. And then but that was my launch day. I didn't plan on getting it, but I did it, and trying to explain to people what it was the next day or tell people about it in the coming weeks was always kind of hard and / embarrassing. I just said an HD Wii came out, like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, because Wii U, like, what does that mean to anybody that's not like a diehard gamer? So
It's a terrible name. It's terrible.
so that's my story. Turned out to be my favorite Nintendo system of all time.
Whoa.
As far as the
Sorry,
games
sorry to hear that.
library, for me, the first party, the second party, the exclusive games, I had some third party games in that first couple years, and I don't know, man, it kind of reawoken my love of gaming, because the 360, PS3, and Wii era I was kind of bored at that point, and the Wii U just really reignited. I don't know specifically what it was, but I just felt like I had a video game machine. I was happy with like the Miiverse, and
The community.
yeah, the community
community.
really sold me on
Yeah.
it. Just
Because I think that's when we all pretty much got our starts on YouTube.
Yeah.
my first like
beginning of
big
Wii U.
video was the Wii U Miiverse is awesome, I think, was got me started. So
You
anyway,
said that. So I remember that video. You said it's the most next gen thing. You could get anything. This is the most next gen thing about the Miiverse. You're like, this
Yeah,
is
the
the most next
posts.
gen. You're showing the post. It's like, look at this, like selling on it. And it's
I
like,
was
yeah,
talking
man.
about the Miiverse till the day it died, and I argued with Levelhead Gamer about it all the time, because he's like, I don't see it doesn't mean anything to me. I was like, do you use it? No. No wonder you don't like you're not experiencing what it offers if you don't use it.
It's
But
being resurrected though. So
Amazing. Yeah.
All right,
There
so
is that.
who's next, who wants to go next and tell their story? Did you first, say did you plan on getting it? Were you excited for it? All that midnight launch stuff. Robert, you didn't get it until December, so
No, I didn't get it till
Wow.
December. It was after Christmas, man. I was 13 years old.
He
13.
was a baby. He was a
Okay, makes
baby.
sense.
My
Makes
son is
sense.
13, bro.
Oh, that's crazy. No, but that's
That
why
is crazy.
that's why essentially I wanted the console so bad, but during those years it was always I had to wait for Christmas for that big time. Literally every single year it was like that big game I was dying for. But it was tough because this was a console and that's a lot more expensive, and my parents cannot pay for that. And they're like, yeah, it ain't happening. I'm just being honest with you. And sometimes they trick you. Maybe I was like, oh, it's not gonna happen. And you open it and it's there. But they're like, no, I just genuinely, you're not getting the Wii U this Christmas. It's not happening. And I'm like, damn, shit. And so, but what they did give me was like $100, which was enough money for me to get a Wii U because I had from collecting from a bunch of other people, saving for a bunch of other family members and everything else was enough to actually get a Wii U. And so I was like, well, you basically got it. And they're like, yeah, I guess. And so yeah, I was dying for that. I remember seeing it at E3, and I remember this was when they were showing E3 on TV, like on cable actually. And I remember seeing it at 2011, and I just remember bits and pieces. But I remember like, oh my god, and I remember my stepdad who'd be like, said, no, we'll get it one of these days for sure, 100%. We'll have enough to get there. And then they're like, yes, can't wait. And then Christmas comes around, blah blah. Like I said, I get the money, and then the very next day I go to GameStop and I pick up a Wii
Yeah, you
U,
didn't have
and
to
that should
worry
be a
about getting
sign.
one. Yeah, you
Yeah,
didn't.
that should be a sign. In my mind, I don't think about it that way yet. I'm just 13. I'm just getting, yes, yes, Wii U. But when you think about it, if, like, damn, the day after Christmas, I was able to go in, get a brand new console. No, no, it just happened. It just was there. Imagine doing that for anything, Switch, PS5, Series X. It just, after Christmas, that's not happening.
Yeah.
But that just kind of shows the beginning of the doom and gloom for that damn console,
Hmm.
unfortunately. But yeah, I picked it up and I was so excited. I got that, no game. Actually, I didn't get a game. It was the deluxe. I had that with Nintendo Land, so it came with obviously Nintendo Land, and man, I remember opening that up and plugging it in and waiting for it to update. But I was so excited to hold the gamepad and see that update bar
Did you do
just
the
go slowly
transfer
go.
from Wii? Because I did that same
No,
night.
I sold my Wii's.
Oh,
I sold my Wii's to get my
Oh,
360. I was so I trust me. I still, it's my
happened to
one
Wii
regret in life.
360 with me.
Exactly.
You sold your Wii to
I
get
was
a
Wii-less in
360?
360 with me. Yeah, but yeah, and so it was just so good because I remember having that, and you'd have the little
Was that
background.
Usher?
The what?
Was that Usher?
Yeah, yeah, like remember the Wii U,
Yeah,
like
that's the
when
music.
it would update, like I forget. Regardless, it would the bars slowly going up, and then I remember playing Nintendo Land. I was just like, oh my god, like just having it in my hands and actually discovering Miiverse. I wasn't heavy into Miiverse right away. It was more so a little later on as I started getting stuff. And the first game, and again, completely different time because I remember asking my stepdad, "What do you think I should get? New Super Mario Brothers U or Zombie U?" And it was like, what?
God, I hope you
Nowadays,
didn't
that's not
get.
even a
I
question.
hope you didn't get Zombie because early on that game was rough at launch. It got
Oh,
better with
really?
some patches.
Well, let me
Yeah.
tell you.
Well,
That
because
should have had
for me,
some just
it
broken.
was like, well, obviously the fact that I didn't know, yeah, I picked up New Super Mario Brothers U, but it's what a difference. Like, why? Of course, I'm picking up a fucking Mario game. You're crazy. Why would I not pick up a Mario game? Day one, and so like, it was New Super Mario Brothers U between I forget how long. I don't know how long it was. Probably a few days or a few weeks. I'm not too sure. Probably had some GameStop gift card or something, and I was like, all right, I'll be able to pick this up. New Super Mario Brothers U. I can only pick up one. And so I picked up New Super Mario Brothers U, enjoyed the hell out of it. That's when you first start seeing the Miiverse posts go up on each level, and I was
Hmm.
like, oh my god, this looks so cool. People like the scrolling when you're loading the level and you see everyone reacting to it, and this is so hard. Or, oh my
They
god, I
have a
love this.
funny
Blah, blah.
where like this really hard level they'd have like a spike, Mario like jumping into a spike.
Yeah,
Like this
it's
level
so good.
sucks, and it was
Uh
really
huh.
cool. All
And then
right,
obviously
we'll get
over
more
the
into the
time,
depth in
well, I
the.
was just say over the time, just like you, it became my favorite console too. So.
Wow, that's two. Can I go
Go
next?
ahead.
All right. I share the sentiments of it was pretty underwhelming. I pre-ordered mine, so I didn't have to worry about standing in lines or anything like that. Just went in, basically just went and picked it up. I actually bought three. And I gave some away for Christmas to family members. So
This
I
man
was able
tried
to
everything to save the Wii
secure
U.
three of them shits. So that just lets you know they weren't hard to get. But I spent stupid money. Um, my Wii U launch collection was already insane. So I got the system, which is behind me there, with
Nice.
New Super Mario Brothers U. I picked up Zombie U
Nice.
at launch because I was, hyped for that because it was Killer Freaks from Outer Space, and then they like changed the game completely to Zombie U. Then this is the game I was most hyped for. Darksiders 2.
Yes,
They
sir.
had some of the best CGI trailers I remember seeing in the game. And I remember looking at comment sections and people being like, "Oh no, that's how the graphics are going to be on the Wii U." I'm like, "You what? That is not the graphics, son. That's a CGI trailer." But I remember seeing that, and this was the Zelda game of the launch. Got that. The most slept on game, Tekken Tag Tournament for Wii U, bro. Like
Yes, sir. Yes,
the Wii
sir.
U
Yes,
edition
sir.
was
Yes, sir.
amazing.
Yes,
The
sir.
stuff they put in here from just like the Nintendo Universe, Mario Universe stuff was incredible. It was a great game already, but then they added in like all the costumes and all that Mario stuff. Amazing. I think this game sold like 30,000 copies. I think this game. What did the kids say today? This game with double trash bin. It did not sell well, and I remember Namco not being happy about that. And this isn't. I got the other one, Scribble Knots, because I was like,
Nice.
well, yeah, you got to have a game like that uses the gamepad and you're drawing and you're writing stuff. And I love that game on 3D. Was it DS or 3DS? 3DS.
3DS. What are you
DS.
doing?
No, it was DS, right?
DS. Yeah, the original Scribblenauts was DS.
Yeah, it was DS. Um, I just spent crazy, and I got in the week. I got Assassin's Creed 3. I got that was that no, that wasn't a launch game, was it? Try Monster Hunter.
No.
I
No,
don't
no,
think so.
No.
no. It came out a little later, but I got I bought Mass Effect 3.
Jesus,
yeah?
dude.
That was right
doing?
before the trilogy. Right before
Yeah.
the trilogy came out.
I went insane. I spent probably like $800 with the system and
Nice.
games, and I just had so much stuff to play. I didn't even know what to play. But I started with Darksiders. Everything else went to sleep when I started playing Darksiders. But yeah, like I asked you about that the GameCube thing, Juice, because it felt very similar to GameCube, and I was at I'm I'm a Nintendo launch guy every system since N64. I was there day one, N64 all the way up until Switch, obviously, and Wii, or Wii U and GameCube both felt similar as far as like excitement wise, and I think that kind of proved, later went on to prove that the systems didn't do as well as we hoped.
Yeah, I would say the
But they're
thing about
still
the
two of my
GameCube,
favorites.
the GameCube, I felt like within a few days, if it wasn't for Super Monkey Ball's like billiards,
Mm.
I was like, I was
Mm.
pretty much bored with. I didn't get Luigi's Mansion. I got Madden, I got Star Wars, and I got Super Monkey Ball. If it wasn't for the damn pool billiards,
Mass Effect.
that
Really?
was for me. Within days, I was already like, man, do I want to keep playing? Like,
Yep.
that was a rough start.
And that's why I spent so much money on Wii U, because I was like, maybe I just didn't get enough games on GameCube, so I bought every goddamn thing to make sure I had something to play, and something was gonna keep my attention. I was gonna find one of those games that's gonna hold me until, like, something else came out. Until, like, what was it?
Zelda that we
Rayman
can
Legends.
get.
Rayman. It wasn't Legends, was it?
I
Legends,
remember.
Yeah,
Legends,
I remember. Baron. He got to play Wii U from like their little bus thing they were going around.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, Rayman Legends is the most next gen looking game I've seen in a long time." A couple years later, comes out on 360, runs at 1080p 60 on the 360. But all right, Sandstorm. Before you fall asleep, what's your Wii U story?
Oh no, I'm nowhere near tired. I feel all these stories are very, very inspiring. So the Wii U actually has a side little
it's got
sentimental
Drake, yeah.
value to it, because during the time I originally wanted to get it from GameStop, and they had told me they had sold out. Now put a pin in that, because we're gonna come back to that. And so I ended up having to go to Walmart instead, and I actually sold my PS3 to somebody, and got like half the money. And my girlfriend at the time, who sugar mama is now wife, actually paid the other half to buy the Wii U for me. And so I had the system and ended up going back to GameStop to see what games they had, and they were like, "Oh, by the way, do you need a Wii U? Because we got like 6 on hand." And, I guess a bunch of people decided that they wanted to back out of there, so yeah, that's how that went. But I had Mario, I had Zombie U, Darksiders 2, Tekken Tag 2. I think soon thereafter, one of the Call of Duties came out.
Yeah,
as
Black
well.
Ops came
Yeah,
out.
Black Ops, yep.
Yeah, so playing. So it's funny that you say Zombie U was really trash, because I feel like even though it wasn't the greatest, it kind of gave you that whole what they were trying to go for with looking at the 2 screens deal.
Well, the problem
then
was
when
it was really easy to break your save file, which I did. You just went somewhere before getting an item, and it just completely fucked up my save file, and I had to wait. It took them like months. They actually fixed it, so it freed up my game. I had to start over, because it was like,
Damn.
it felt like it was like 8 hours into the game, and it happened.
Yeah.
I couldn't beat it. It was just broken.
So your memory of that game is tainted to begin with. So.
Yeah, Call of Duty really kind of showed off the asynchronization gameplay. I think that was really huge. I actually played Assassin's Creed 3. They had the 3D mode, and I had a 3D TV, so yes, I did struggle with the 10 frames per second all the way through the whole game just to play it in 3D. I think leading up to the Wii U, though, I remember that first initial year that they showed it off, and I was excited as all get out. Even when it had the like the 3DS little nubs instead of the actual stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original model.
I was excited for that, and then just for Reggie to come out and be like, "This will actually support 2 gamepads."
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. Cart before the horse there, Reggie.
I'd be curious if I never officially heard anyone like technically say that, is it actually rendering when it's just sharing like the same image? A lot of the games just have the same image on the gamepad as the TV. Was it actually having to render that twice, or was it just sending
rendering?
Oh, I thought it was rendering to the gamepad.
I know
first.
when it was a different camera a different view, obviously it's rendering, but when it was just mimicking what's on the TV, some games just had the gamepad and the TV match, and you couldn't do anything about it. Just ran with the gamepad and TV playing, and I never.
Pretty sure it was just a streaming thing.
At that point, I don't think it was rendering.
It was rendering because just that. How powerful could the system have been?
Yeah, that would have been.
It was actually rendering,
because it's rendering
screens.
Bayonetta
But
2.
But even still, if you think about it, like that asynchronization of just playing two different games just with that system, I felt like that was kind of
I don't feel like
a
they ever delivered on that. To be honest, I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't think they ever delivered on that. Because, well, let's get through everybody's launch
They
day
delivered on the
stories.
day one. What do you mean they didn't deliver on it?
It was there, but to me, that they didn't deliver on it in an actual full featured game that it actually meant something. Like it was beyond just a gimmick. It never reached beyond gimmick. The having the two screens do. Other Star Fox
I
Zero
disagree.
was the best for me. Was the closest.
Well, from Nintendo, you're saying?
Yeah. Yep.
Because I got plenty of examples
Yeah. It's
where
about
other
Nintendo, not.
parties did it like
I mean, I would argue something like
way
Super
better.
Mario Maker, like
That. Yes,
Super Mario
that
Maker,
was.
I
like there's
mean,
a big
that was
reason why
helpful,
Super
but I
Mario
mean, as far as rendering two different perspectives of the same
Oh,
game, I
oh,
don't feel like it did. Other than Star Fox Zero, I can't really think of one Nintendo did that was
gotcha.
like.
It's weird because they did it on the GameCube, and I thought right away that we get a new Pac-Man versus because that would have been amazing on Wii U. Because what you had to go through to do Pac-Man versus on GameCube was like you had to have like
Game Boy. Yeah.
you had the 4 Game Boys, and like that was crazy. But
yeah.
yeah, I'm about to say the Switch. The Wii U was perfect for Pac-Man versus, and I know I have no idea why that never happened.
What was the Luigi's Mansion one? Was that in the
Nintendo
uh
Land.
It was a Nintendo Land.
That
Land?
was one where I forget if you had the gamepad or the controllers. It was automatic win because I tried playing and it was everybody who was. I think it was the gamepad person won every match when it with all adults. We had some buddies come over and yeah, everybody whoever I can't remember. I think it was the gamepad one won every single time. But anyway, let's get to Retro Death. How did the Wii U launch where you were? Were you in France back then, right? Still?
Yeah, I wasn't friends when I launched. I'm like I got like, not counting the NES and the Super Nintendo, I bought every console at launch, always, no exceptions. I don't care what people say online. There's a new Nintendo console, I need to fucking have that shit. So I went to the store to buy it, and I mean, I usually don't take into account like if people show up on launch days the way it is now these days with like online launches and stuff, but that store was empty. Like I was literally the only person there buying a Wii U. Um, I wanted to get the black version. They had like three versions over here. They had the white one and two black ones.
Of
And I
course,
think
Europe.
but I think the only difference is I think the two black ones had like more storage and the game they came with. And I wanted specifically the version that came with Nintendo Land. That's the reason I bought that specific Wii U, because like it came with Nintendo
well, that's
Land.
what that's worldwide. Yeah, that's the deluxe set.
Yeah, that's what it looks at exactly. That's what they called
Yeah.
it here too. And I played the shit out of that, specifically the Luigi's Mansion, the Mario thing, and the Animal Crossing stuff. Like that actual asymmetric gameplay was so much fun. That was like so cool. And I wanted just one more game where I don't buy like 100 games at launch. Like T buys like the whole library and shit. And like
Usually, I said I was trying to make sure I wasn't as bored as I was with
Yeah,
GameCube.
but that's why I had Nintendo Land and I wanted something else. I don't remember Super Mario being out at that point, or maybe I just didn't get it at launch because I was just sick of like all that stuff already. I'm like, you know what? I want something completely different. And I remember my brother once showing me a trailer, and there was no gameplay on it. It was I don't even know if it was CGI. Probably was. It almost felt live action, but you just see these close-up shots of this like guy sitting on a throne and like blood dropping off its scythe. And my brother is the guy. He shows you trailers and he gets super hyped. But I'm like, I don't know what this trailer is. So I never thought of it anymore. And I wanted another game. And then I saw like that game like on the shelf, Darksiders 2. I'm like, oh, that's a trailer my brother once showed of the sequel of a game where I never played the original game. You know what? I'll pick up Darksiders 2, like the Reaper stuff, the Horseman of the Apocalypse stuff. Like I'll pick that up, and I think for the next few months, like that's all I fucking played was Darksiders 2, man. Like the stuff the Wii U gave me is absolutely insane, and for me, it started like
How
at
did you
launch
play it?
already.
I should
How
have
did you
picked
play
that game
Darksiders
up.
2?
Well, so I still to this day, even with all the remasters and remakes, think the Wii U version is by far the actual definitive version for two reasons. One, when they remade Darksiders 2, they remastered it. They removed half the colors from the game. It was much less vibrant and stuff. I don't know why they did that. And they changed the way the shadows work. And mostly the gamepad. Like everything was on the gamepad. The map was on the gamepad. You had like new armor. You flick, flick, click. It was there. You never needed to pulse Darksiders for any reason whatsoever, thanks to the gamepad, man. And that's what I love about it. Because most games you like have to press start, go into a menu, equip this, equip that, and like Darksiders was the gamepad, and you click, click, click.
Just touch it and you're wearing
map.
it.
Exactly. It was so fucking insane how good that worked.
Yep.
How about Terrell? What you didn't get yours at launch, right?
No, I didn't. I did not. Although I agonized over it for like a good, what was that? I got it 2013. I agonized it, I want to say about a good 8 months.
Yeah, I remember that now.
So the Wii U it has some value for me in the sense that it was the first Nintendo console I bought with my money that I made. My mother bought the Wii for me, and that was the last console she bought. So the Wii U was the first Nintendo console I bought on my own money. And I sat there, and it was 2012, and I think I bought the DSi, I want to say, around the time. I haven't nailed down the time exactly, but I bought the DSi maybe earlier that year. And I was looking, I was like, well, fuck, I really want this. I really want to get the Nintendo console, but I also was like, I don't give a fuck about none of these games.
Yeah, so you bought you bought the DSi before the 3DS or something, or?
Yeah. I have the
No, because the 3DS was already out for like 2 years by then.
3DS came out in 2011.
Yeah, I think I had gotten the DSi probably the year prior. Then it had to be because the DSi came out relatively
2009, I think.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was 2009.
2009, yeah.
Because I remember that was actually a thing I got at launch. Was the DSi.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you buy the Wii U
when you were 5?
When
I was like, what? Yeah, how old was I?
No. Well, okay, so what happened was, okay, so the Wii U launched. I was like, fuck, there's nothing I really want on it. But the game I was gonna get it early for, ironically enough, was Rayman Legends. Because Rayman Legends was supposed to come out like early that year. And I was like, fuck it. I'll get it around the time that game came out. And then it got delayed, and I went, fuck.
Oh, the backlash.
And that was genuinely the thing that pissed me off, because I had finally got around to playing Origins, and I thought Origins was amazing. I was so excited for Legends. Nah, it's not coming out, and it's coming out multi-plat. And I was like, well, technically, I don't really need to buy the Wii U for it. I kept trying to find a reason to get it. And then I think it's when I hit the summer, when E3 came around, and we started hearing about these games coming out. And I was like, okay, August and like September and October are looking kind of stacked. So I bought it. I want to say I bought it in July. I bought it right before they announced that fucking bundle. They did it. I remember they did a bundle. I want to say, was it the 3D World? Was it the Wind Waker? I thought it was the 3D World bundle.
Wind Waker.
It was the Wind Waker bundle, and I got pissed off. I got pissed off because I fucking bought the console right before that, and I went, no.
And they put all that work into making it look different. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
But it was $50 cheaper and came with Wind Waker. So
the irony is that I ended up buying Wind Waker HD. That's why I was pissed off. It was like, fuck me. So I think the games I got for it was Rayman Legends. I still bought it on Wii U, and I still said that's the best version of that game. I bought that, Lost World. I got 3D World, and Wind Waker. I think were the games I got.
It's the best version because it used the gamepad.
And then obviously I had Nintendo Land because it came with the game. Oh no, I'm lying. I did buy one other game when I first bought it. I bought Super Mario Brothers U. I did buy that. I do remember buying it. I have it. I was not that engaged with it at all, though. I remember I didn't play much of it at all.
Well, the first two worlds,
I remember that.
I can even admit the first two worlds are like,
they're bad.
I mean, they're so easy.
It's super
there's nothing. There's no effort really needed.
I was not engaged. The first game I got engaged with was probably Rayman Legends was the game I was waiting for, and then 3D World was like my first like full Mario experience without like. That was like one of the first Mario games I actually went all the way through and beat. And I even went back and started playing it as like Luigi and like Peach and shit, just because I liked it. I enjoyed that game a lot, actually. And And then Sonic, all right, I'm not gonna go too much in nauseam Sonic, but that I was platforming my ass off because there was like nothing else for me to play realistically.
Too many platformers, man. And where's the RPGs?
That actually is how I felt. I felt like that, like a motherfucker.
That was OJ,
which is funny,
Francis back then.
The irony is that it's reversed now. We are overflowing with RPGs and not enough platforms. But I won't say it's not my favorite Nintendo console, but I do enjoy it a lot. Miiverse was a godsend. I enjoyed the hell out of that. The artistry alone made me engage with Miiverse. Just watching people get that creative.
The drawings were sweet.
I just appreciated people's ability and creativity, and it was a relatively chill social media without being a social media platform on the system.
The dick bitches, the bitch dicks.
Yeah, these bitch dicks, these dick bitches and shit.
Honestly, the more I think about it, I think Miiverse played such a part in my enjoyment of that system. Plus, it was like revitalizing the gaming. I was Mr. Call of Duty for the last from like 2009 to 2012, maybe even 2008. No, it's 2009 when I got my PS3, Modern Warfare 2, and I was so into that. Like, it to me, it reminded me of a relationship I was in where I stopped listening to like hard rock music and playing video games, and like gave everything I had to this relationship. And then when that relationship ended, I was like, it was so relieved when I started listening to my music again and playing video games. I was so happy. I was like, man, I was missing out. That's kind of how I felt when I got the Wii U, even though it was dry. I should have played Darkside. I don't know. I remember thinking about the game or looking at it. It sounds like if I felt I had that first year would have been a lot. First 9 months or whatever would have been a lot better because
Zelda game, bro.
Because the one game I kind of got me through was Need for Speed Most Wanted U, which was a good game, but at the same time had some of the most finicky controls. Porting process, the analog stick, something went wrong. You barely touch. You could not play that game without hitting something within 5 seconds.
You know the two games I want
when you deal with the burnout.
There were two games I did want to play that came out, and it was during the time where you were still getting third party. Actually, no, there was 3 games. I wanted to get Arkham Origins on Wii U originally, and then that game ended up being a buggy mess no matter what platform you bought it on. But that was one. I did end up buying Tekken Tag Tournament 2 later. And I don't regret that purchase at all. That was actually, I think that was a really good port. And unfortunately, that was like the last time we ever saw Tekken, other than Smash, on a Nintendo console. And the third game was Injustice 2. But that, if you remember that debacle, where they stripped out, they stripped out like one
the first one, wasn't it?
I still bought it. It was
Injustice 1.
It was the first one.
And they, it was the first one. And they stripped out like all the side features, I think.
You couldn't play with friends online. It was just random.
Yeah, it was super stripped down, and then I think even they got like the DLC later, whatever the fuck.
Bro, I paid like $35 of DLC. I was so disgusted with myself.
That Trey 81, that was like his most played game on Wii U years later.
It was.
With that's all out of spite. You could tell all that was out of spite.
Oh, definitely, because it was such a shitty situation.
Since you brought that up, let's talk about one of the bigger negatives besides. You know, it was obvious. I remember going to the store like a couple days after I bought it, and Best Buy had like stacks of Wii U's. Like, I was like, damn, I was kind of still that, pretty diehard Nintendo fanboy. I'm like, oh, these aren't, this isn't selling. They still have. And then I went back a couple days later, and it was not even one of them sold. I was like, oh shit. Like, I remember noticing that, and then I talked my buddies from work all to come over. Like, dude, I got this new Wii U. Let's play. And this is not a retro death exaggeration. This is actual. I mean, there was like 4 of us, and got the controllers, got the Wii remotes, whatever you could play with. I can't remember what the limitations were in Nintendo Land. So I was like, oh, you're the ghost. You get the gamepad. We played that. Everybody went around. Everybody won who had the gamepad. Then we tried, all the games that you could play with 5 people. I don't
Mario
remember.
Chase and stuff.
Yeah, the Mario Chase. I'm not kidding you. It was like 35 to 40 minutes later. we just kind of all looked at each other, and they're just like, "What else? You got anything else to play?"
Yeah, we're done.
It was so boring. I could see kids having fun with some of those games, but it just wasn't fun.
Bro, how you gonna say that? See, you
Dude,
can't just say that.
dude,
You
we
can't just say,
had-
"Oh, I can see kids
we
having fun
had
that way."
game
You have a
nights.
whole group here. All of us fucking love that game.
This group, like, we would play till 3 in the morning. We had game nights playing till 3 in the morning before this, and it was just like I just thought it was gonna be. And I don't even remember what we ended up doing, but there was nothing else on Wii U to play. I didn't, other than Mario, and it was just like, man, that for me that hit where I knew that this wasn't gonna be the system. When that night, a couple weeks after I had the system, I was like, damn, like none of these guys are gonna buy this. We're not. I'm gonna pretty much be the only one that's gonna have this system. I just kind of felt
you
it.
to get other people to buy it as well around you, and I did the same thing, and my sales pitch was not working. I could tell it was not.
I even had
just knew.
remember Derek
that-
Steelfox used to be on my podcast. He stopped over, and I showed him like having. I had some virtual console games. I had Super Metroid. I'm showing him Gamepad. He was so. I think Shovel Knight had come out, and he was so not interested. I think he ended up getting one because for Smash he ended up getting one, but he was not feeling. He's like, really, $350 for this? Like, he's like, I don't think so. He just.
It's so hard that people have that experience when every time, even now, I put in Nintendo Land, I'm like laughing non-stop playing Nintendo Land, man.
I think I put-
Nintendo Land,
multiplayer
yo, we got a whole
combat.
discussion in Nintendo Land alone. Nintendo Land is a fucking fantastic game.
Yeah.
The fact that it was bundled in.
To me, it was
every
a 7
single-
out of 10 from the first time I played it to the last time I played it. It never hit anything. But that was just an example of how I was kind of getting to how I kind of felt that this system wasn't going to be the thing, at least at that point. I still was in denial about it a little bit, but that's when I was like, damn, like I thought this would be awesome with friends, and it just wasn't. And
I just like Wii U. It wasn't gonna be no Wii. It was all about you, me, by my damn self.
Yeah, that's the ironic
You
part.
mean we myself?
Yeah, we, myself, and I.
Oh no.
And then,
Man, what is this?
I
That
feel
hurt
like
me.
within that first year, I think I even showed my stepson, who was my girlfriend's son at the time, showed him, and then we had a lot of fun with Call of Duty because he was really into it. But like outside of that, it was just kind of solely my system. I don't, and I think the Lego games came out soon
Lego
thereafter.
City was
Yeah.
20.
It was
the cover-
amazing when that first came
Was
out.
that 13
Yeah.
or 14?
That was 2013. It was like,
Yeah, that was 2013.
Thereafter.
Yeah, I skipped that because I heard they had super long loading times and a few other things. I was
It
like,
did. It
Yeah.
did.
But like, oh man, this was back when G4 was still kind of around, and so like I would play the games a little bit and then like wait for them to give their little review, if that's what you want to call it. Trashed everything.
They
Sonic
destroyed
is
it.
Trash. Mario trash. Everything's trash. It just runs like trash. So I'm like, dang. Well, they. From what it looks like Nintendo is just, kind of letting the third parties handle their business first, and then they've got the hot games coming after that. And it was so dry. It was so bone dry.
Yeah.
April of 2013, we was out here. We was out here dried up. What?
then
always-
we have
always-
the Wario something.
Game and Warrior, man.
Game and
I
Warrior.
picked that up.
Yeah.
that up day one.
Oh yeah,
baby.
Game of Warrior. Yeah.
They tried to
And if
That's
you
what
don't have
replay
it
you.
now, if you don't have it now, that shit's like $200.
Yeah.
It's the game that turned me against GameStop because I pre-ordered that shit. I went to get it, and the bitch was open, and I'm like,
Crazy.
Oh yeah.
see or some shit like. Where I'm trying to find the
Yeah,
goddamn
they
game.
used to. You bring the case and they'd grab the disc.
I was like,
I
what
always
the fuck
hated
is
that
this? I'm like, you opened it up. It's not new. I'm a collector for one, but I like to open my own goddamn game. And I'm like, what is this open shit? Well, it's new. So I can't do that to you. I can't open a fucking game and then bring it back to you and say that shit was new. You wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, so how can you do that to
Yeah,
me?
they.
This shit is not
I
new.
feel like
I'm
they
still
did
mad
that for
about
about
that
a
shit.
year, and then it like.
Yeah,
I,
they
I
was.
it's just
I
weird.
think it was a Nintendo issue too because Nintendo barely fucking supplied with them with copies of games.
Yeah.
Like it was so low of the numbers that they put out there. I don't know how they sold millions of copies when they were doing that kind of shit.
Remember the commercials too were lame as shit. Someone brought up the
Gee, I
commercials.
can just think of
Yeah.
those like what do they call that shit? That music? What was it called? Those robotic sound and shit. What do they
Dubstep?
call that shit?
Dubstep?
Dubstep, yes.
Yeah, dubstep, dubstep.
Like, what is this
Remember
shit?
they had
This is
like the
trash.
they had like the cubes and they like
Cubes
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, the cubes of them
Showing
in
all
like
the
None of
different
those
things.
commercials
Doing
were ever good to me, man. It's
Cheap. The commercials were cheap. Because you know they filmed that shit all in one day. And they would separate the commercials
Mhm.
sometimes and just do one cube. Oh, this cube has Zombie U in it. So that would be a commercial
Yeah.
by itself. And it's just
Yeah.
like, this shit is, it just felt cheap.
just the Breath
Like,
of the
what is-
Wild Super Bowl commercial just was so much better than almost every Wii. Remember the
Oh,
Mario
every
man.
single one.
3D World,
Every
the
single
cat Peach suit.
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was so crazy.
Time to upgrade to
So
Wii
bad.
U.
The
Uh,
only commercial that worked, and it worked, even though it was in the same level of cringe, is the Splatoon commercial.
I
And
was
it's
gonna
only
say,
which I still
one
don't
cringe
care for
commercial
those.
that works for me.
no, it's still a cringe ass
I'm a
commercial.
kid now.
But
I'm a
it was
kid now.
fucking. It's a memorable cringe.
Yeah,
You
it's
never-
memorable.
need to go
You
back
would
and
never
watch some of
forget
these.
it.
I
Even
need
if
to
you
go back
Alright.
and watch some of these.
I didn't
So,
mind. I didn't mind the Smash ones though. The Smash
Yeah, I was
ones
gonna
were
say I
solid.
thought the Smash one was alright.
Yeah, it
It's
depends
okay.
on which
Where,
I don't
one.
where
even
like
remember it,
literally,
though.
where it was like
Wasn't
some
it like the
people had
kids on the
animals
Settle
bus
it,
go,
and
Smash.
Settle it in Smash.
Yeah.
No.
Dun, dun,
All right.
dun,
No.
dun, dun.
Does anybody before we
No,
get done with the
hell out of it.
negatives?
I know you like
I
that
mean,
shit
before we get
before
out with the negatives, was this the positive part already?
We're gonna start
Some negative.
Wait, what were
just
we
some
gonna do?
things with the Wii U that maybe it didn't do so great.
Everything?
Some apps you didn't like or something that was just like,
Well,
yeah,
The
maybe this
TV
isn't.
app?
Maybe this thing
Yeah.
wasn't ready or something, you know.
I think the TV app was ready. Well, it wasn't ready for
Oh,
some
we don't,
reason.
don't
just
lie, don't you?
remember how the
don't you
loading-
fucking say that.
Remember the loading times in between
No,
apps?
time out. Hold on. Time out, real quick. I'm watching the Smash Bros. With the Amiibo trailer, the commercial, and that one guy from Stranger Things is in it. What?
Really?
He was
Which guy?
What's the guy who's the friends with the younger kid?
I don't know.
They're
yeah,
like
yeah,
best
yeah,
friends.
I vaguely remember that he was in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name either. The boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend.
He was the
Yeah,
jock
yeah.
kid in the first
Yeah.
season. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very young looking. He's
Yeah,
guys
very
remember
I,
the-
I remember that.
You remember
Yeah.
loading in between apps? Like they sped it up
Yes.
later on, but
It was so slow in the
It
beginning.
wasn't that-
oh
to
my
me-
god.
It was so slow.
and I believe like
I never used the app. I don't think we even got the TV shit over here.
I was gonna
Really?
let's
say,
talk about
I forgot. I
Miiverse.
forgot
Getting
you
into
might have
Miiverse
that,
took forever.
Miiverse did drag. Miiverse was quicker to go through in games.
Yeah, it was so slow.
Like
in
if
the
I was
beginning.
going from like 3D World to Miiverse, it was quicker than
Yeah.
just going to Miiverse.
And that's how you
Even going into the settings was horrible.
Oh, we
Oh,
didn't do
God.
that. I hated it because
and
the
you
Wii
had
U
to have
had
the
a-
gamepad.
You know what made me feel bad? The Wii U has like a nice aesthetic to it. Like I like the way, like the
love
the
that,
kind of.
yeah.
The music
But
it had,
it could not optimize for shit. It was so aggravating.
mm.
I like the
It
plaza.
got better with updates, but it still was.
Oh no, it did.
It was still slow.
I will say too,
Well-
the plastic was. I mean, you just barely touch it, it's scratch on the actual the console. Because I like
Oh
to
really?
keep.
I never.
I like to dust
I-
my shit, and you just like
Yeah.
touch it with even a microfiber, and that shit was scratched.
My gamepad screen is dented because of that.
Oh shit!
But it
Well,
happened
actually,
like
it's really good.
it happened
Oh, yeah.
like a month.
the
What-
I always
curved
liked
edge.
that. Yeah, I've always liked
Yeah.
that.
I always like that. I like
Sometimes
the
it
discs. I always
makes
like
it
the discs.
slip
You
though.
sit there and rub your curved edges.
They do- they are
it's like,
slippery.
it's like you know what a Wii U disc is once you feel that
Mhm.
smoothness. It's nice.
It's good.
So, if
So,
we're gonna talk about like negative stuff, like is the positive section over? Because like I wanted to say something still.
Go ahead.
No,
positive.
the negatives out.
It's like we're talking about the Wii U and stuff, but like I feel to me, the Wii U literally like gave me like my video game dream stuff. You know, like one of the biggest things I always wanted to see in gaming was like in the Legend of Zelda. I always wanted to see like wars, like super violent. I always wanted to see like a war between the races. And originally, Twilight Princess was gonna give us that. They had that in the trailers and shit, but when the game came out, none of that shit was actually in the game anymore. They had like
Yep.
Conan the Barbarian music on this war scene and shit. It was never in the game. So like the Wii U fucking gave us like Hyrule Warriors, which like is so fucking good. And I'm so happy that when Age of Calamity came out, they like expanded on that idea. Like thanks to Wii U, like we had that shit. Same
Yeah.
with like 3D World. 3D World had like the Captain Toad puzzles and shit. And I remember thinking when the game was over, man, there were only like 5 of that shit in the game. I wish I was
I wish
begging
it
for
was a
fucking DLC at that point. And they like fucking released it like as a video game and shit. I feel the Wii U gave me so much of that shit, like really original stuff, like what we talked about earlier, like Super Mario Maker and stuff. And I feel like the Wii U doesn't get enough credit for like the insane things they
And
tried
new
with all those
IPs.
IP.
And when we
Yeah.
talk about the Wii U in 4 years, it's really only 3. From
Yeah.
late 2013
To
into late
2016.
2015 was really its.
Well, yeah.
I mean, there was a few games in 2016, but the meat of its library came out in 2013 to 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But you know what else came out and had been around for a long time? It was selling gangbusters just like the Wii U. No, actually, it really was. I don't have it back here. My daughter must have them all, but the Amiibos. The
Oh, yeah.
Amiibos,
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, that was their way
Yeah.
to try to recoup money. Like,
That
Yeah.
was a
Right.
hell of an addiction. Not gonna lie.
I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
was, man, and I regret every single
Robert
penny.
made his parents talked his parents into spending like $100 on a gold Mario.
Oh man,
That was
I
the
remember
dumbest shit.
I remember that shit. It's
Bro,
like just
I
paint
don't
the
know
shit.
what to tell you.
Although,
Come on,
to
man.
be
I was
fair-
16 or something.
To be
by
fair,
then.
hey, listen. To be
15.
fair, I actively took days off from work to go hunt these bitches.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
special stores you can only go
yeah,
to.
because I had to go to
Dude,
fucking.
Fuck
I had to
that.
go to
hate that
Toys
shit.
R
I
Us.
hate
I had to
that,
go to
dude.
Target.
I got
I
a
had to go
whole
to
bin
Best
of
Buy.
them.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
I
focus.
refused to do that shit. I was just like, I'm gonna buy the Japanese version and have that shit shipped over here.
I
I'm
did
not
that
doing
for-
that.
I
I
did
did
that
that
for
for certain
Lucina.
I did
Right.
that for actually a lot of them. Actually,
Lucina
I
and
didn't do that as much.
This is some bullshit right here.
No,
I had
but
enough free
honestly-
time to justifiably go get them.
I wish I did. That's like the one thing that I wish I did.
I enjoyed the
Or you-
hunt.
I wish I would have
The hunt
sold
was
them when
fun.
the price was really high.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed the hunt of
This
nothing
is
else.
the Wii U, but because again, like with the fuck, what do you-
Amiibos.
Amiibos, Nintendo was trying to find other revenue streams.
Uh-huh.
Because the Wii U was selling, so we got these because
Yeah.
of that too. So you got to
And
credit
I
the
like
Wii U
those,
for
man.
these.
I like those. Those are very
You
great.
know,
So,
So-
I still, to this day, and it's getting a little bit harder. Tears of the Kingdom comes out and stuff. It's gonna get harder with each great new Switch game that comes out. But I still put from Pikmin 3 until Xenoblade Chronicles. Well, yeah, I think Xenoblade Chronicles X was the last great game because 2016 you got Star Fox and
Super Mario
I feel like there was another one.
Paper Mario.
and Pokken Tournament.
Token
Tokyo
Tournament.
Mirage Sessions, bro.
Well,
Tokyo
for me
Mirage
specifically,
No, I know,
from
but like in general, like you know.
Pikmin 3, so September
that year, by the way.
2013
Oh,
until
dude.
December
Jesus.
2015, which is just over three full years, so 13 to 14. No,
Bunch
only
of
2 years.
I still
No,
have a fuck ton of these. in
Oh,
the box, by
Jesus.
the way.
Me
It was
too.
This is a whole
a
tub.
lot of epoxy.
I get about 90 of them. I mean,
I have some of the newer ones, like the
You look
fucking
like you're ready for Christmas.
the Zelda one. I still
Yeah,
have.
I got that.
So you're still buying
Show
them?
and tell time.
Not all. Not
That
all,
one
I
was
didn't
like
buy-
that one was so overpriced. It was like
Guardian
$16.
Yeah, that Guardian one was
But
ridiculous.
even like
See,
some
that's
of
a
the-
good one. I have that.
See those were the better ones, and then I
Still in the
grabbed.
box.
Yeah.
I remember
I
when they
get tempted,
came out.
like
Is that
honestly,
Bowser?
I want to pick up the Minecraft ones, man.
Oh no,
I'm not
Bowser.
gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah, this is
Remember
Bowser.
what happened? Like people would maybe, I don't know what they were doing. I guess they would maybe bring their 3DSs into the store, and they would use the amiibos.
That's because they did it with Skylanders and that kind of stuff.
And so they started putting like little
Yeah.
aluminum things to
Yep.
so you couldn't use it
Yeah.
on the bottom. That was some
Terrell?
good
I
stuff.
remember when they were always advertised, it looked amazing, and when the original
Look at
line
this
came
guy.
out, like they looked like jacked, like
Oh,
going
nice,
through
you said
Mars and
Charizard.
stuff. It was like horrible looking.
Yeah, the first batch was Link on the P stand.
Yeah. And then,
Oh, yeah.
and then Mars, man, the eyes
Link's
were
peeing.
terrible.
What
on the
that
P
one?
stand. Bro. Like, what is that?
The
It's-
yellow stick and
It's
shit.
supposed to be good, but it looked like piss.
All right, so
Yeah, absolutely did.
I want to get into more of the positives, like I was saying, from Pikmin 3 to Xenoblade Chronicles X, just over 2 year span, to me still stands up, even compared to the Switch after almost 6 years, as far as exclusive first, second party games.
Exciting.
I mean, I really did end up enjoying New Super Mario Brothers U quite a bit. I think it was World 3 was like a tropical theme. I'm riding Yoshi. I'm like, man, I'm feeling Super Mario World vibes when I was in for the rest of the game. There's like a Star Road, and then it was pretty dry. But Pikmin 3 definitely my favorite Pikmin game. Followed by Wind Waker HD, which was I thought a massive upgrade over the original. Sonic
You
Lost
think it had
World.
too much bloom lighting?
Your
Sonic
favorite
Lost World
Sonic
was a
game.
bit of a down. That was a bit of a bump in the road. I did
But it
play
is still your favorite
and
Sonic.
I beat it. Then 3D World comes out. I mean,
Yes.
3D
the
Sonic
perfect
game, not
blend
Sonic.
of 2D and
It
3D
might be Brandon's
Mario.
favorite Sonic.
Followed by Tropical Freeze. I got my first 1080 or my first high-end Sony TV the same day it showed up. The same day Tropical Freeze came out. So February 14th, 2014. Retro, how's that? Did you remember that date? I know you're always amazed. February 14th.
I mean, February
2013
shouldn't be hard to remember. It's,
or 2014, I should
special
say.
day.
Got my
Very
Sony 65-inch LED TV.
Well, I just
hooked my
want to
Wii
say
U
though.
up. Tropical Freeze. I mean, mind
I
blown.
must have loved you.
Wait, but hold on a
Goody.
second. February 14th was the Jap because I'm pretty sure it was the 21st or something.
Oh yeah, yep. It was my sister's birthday. Yep, February 21st.
I like how that's how you remember.
And then what? Not too long after you get Mario Kart 8. That
Mario Kart 8. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
the one.
before
Jesus.
Breath of the Wild,
Mm.
Mario Kart 8 was the most anticipated game I had in years. Probably, before Sunshine or something was before that.
First
A lot of us
HD
were hoping that
Mario
it would
Kart.
save the Wii U.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
a lot of us was hoping that
They
that was
gave
going to
away
be the
the two
beginning of the Wii
games.
U.
Yeah.
they gave away the 2 games. I downloaded or 1 game I think. I downloaded
One
3D
game, one
World
game.
or no New Super Mario Brothers U. I downloaded just to have it digitally.
Damn, you didn't pick up a different
I didn't
game.
pick up a new game because I didn't want the one I didn't have.
Wii Party U? You didn't
Yeah,
want Wii Party
no.
U in? That's what I got was Wii Party U.
Me too.
We put
But-
it too. Yeah.
I mean, I did enjoy Hyrule Warriors, and Bayonetta 2 comes out. It's one of the best action games of all time.
Yep.
Smash for Wii U, Super
Yes.
Luigi U. Captain Toad
Yes,
didn't really
Captain Toad.
hit for me, but I mean,
The tournament was good.
Crafted
too.
World,
Love Captain Toad. When it came out,
Rainbow
December?
Curse, Mario
Yeah.
Maker. I mean, great new IP. Splatoon, great new IP. Xenoblade Chronicles X, like that span right there was just
That was a span.
incredible.
That's a span.
Plus,
Yeah.
I mean, plus I picked up like Rayman Legends and not a ton of games. Most of them are digital actually, but I did buy a lot of indie games. Found a lot of cool indie games that I probably normally wouldn't played. And then the one thing, and this you could say the droughts were negative for sure, but it did allow me to like get in this my current play style of just really taking everything the game has to offer and really putting in enough time, not just trying to get to the next game. I'd really just sink my teeth in and play the shit out of each game. And you could say that I had to because there wasn't that many new games coming out all the time, but still if I really laid them out, what Switch has done after 6 years, yeah, it probably tops it. But I mean, a 2 year span, that was just incredible. And just I love.
Does it though? Does it? Does it though?
Well,
Like with original new games?
If
That
you
just
don't
like-
think
after
if you
6
don't
years,
think-
I think it
To me,
we'd
it's
get
not
close.
at this point.
Is there a
You
span
did
that
have
was
Breath of the
exciting and
Wild.
good?
You did have Breath of the Wild Arms and Mario all
Yeah,
in
yeah,
I was
one
gonna
year.
say 2017 was amazing on Switch. Like that was it was so good. I was like, this is gonna be my new favorite Nintendo console, my new favorite console of all times. That year was so good, but then 2018 hit, and I'm like, bruh.
I had like
And
single
2019
digit.
hit, and then remember that
I
second
owned
half was
single
crazy.
digit Switch games
Right.
until like 2020. Like it was under 10 until
Well,
like 2020.
I don't know how the hell that's possible.
So I'm
but
just
it's-
telling you, for me personally, like that was the Switch. If I lined them all up, the exclusive games, exclusive to Switch that I owned versus Wii U in that same time,
Yeah.
it's probably still Wii U at this point. But anyway, it started the YouTube channel, the Mario Kart tournaments,
Yeah.
the Miiverse was amazing. Like it just was a great time. Got me back into gaming, and so that's my
If I may show some love
and the gamepad,
to-
off TV play, touchscreen,
Yes.
gyro aiming.
Where's the other one?
Did a lot of stuff.
Third-party
Yeah.
Play
games
it
that
from your
really
bed.
used.
Yeah.
And you were able to send messages and send
Yeah,
friend
send-
requests just by username. It was crazy.
Yep.
Crazy new invention.
You could share
For
screenshots.
some reason, Switch
Shut the
doesn't
fuck up, it is.
understand.
I made
These are
friends.
two of the-
I made friends on Miiverse.
Yeah.
Two of the best
literally.
games to use a gamepad.
Yeah,
What was
That's
it?
Two of the best games use a gamepad. Like in Splinter Cell Blacklist
Blacklist?
and Deus Ex Human
God.
Revolution Director's Cut. This used the gamepad so good. With Miiverse, you could leave voice messages. It was insane what you could do in this game. And I was like, why isn't Nintendo doing this kind of stuff? And the game probably sold like 30,000 copies again. Like that game totally bombed. Same thing with Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell bombed on everything though. It didn't do well.
I got that
Blacklist
on
didn't do well.
PC, and I absolutely hated it.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Damn.
I could not stand that game.
I loved it. The online multiplayer was dope. The way they used the gamepad was amazing in that
I
game.
wonder if I still technically own that game if I open the Uplay, if it's even there anymore.
Probably if you have the same.
But
account.
so Retro, you brought up Hyrule Warriors. What else hit for you?
I mean, like I said,
Special
Mostly,
editions for
like-
sure.
yeah, we got lucky over here. I feel the Wii U just did everything right when it came to exclusives and stuff. Like Captain Toad hit really hard, Merry Maker, Hyrule Warriors, Woolly World, and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, literally the two greatest platformers almost ever made. Like both of those games in the Yoshi series and Donkey Kong series, like they did absolute art, and it just hurts that when now you have the Switch and you get like new games and you're like, man. Well, like Yoshi's Crafted World, for example. Literally, I tried picking it up again a few months ago because I want to fucking complete it, and I do 2 levels. And I'm like, I'm done. I just can't. It's just not good. Like, it's just absolutely insane. Like you guys, I like going on like the Miiverse to talk about all the games and everything. And we're talking about like asymmetric gameplay and all that kind of stuff. Project Zero or like a Fatal Frame.
Oh, I
for you
forgot
guys.
Fatal
Like,
Frame.
that was
man.
absolute art on the Wii U. Just
Yeah.
insane.
You got a physical copy of this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, another one.
That went for us.
Nintendo went
Uh,
so hard over here to get that Wii U going, man. Like it just
They
couldn't
really
get
tried.
it
I
right.
mean, they
They
poked
Yeah.
tried hard.
Now they didn't
In
have
Europe.
the epic RPGs, they didn't have the support of
Those all
Square.
platformers and minigame collection. Ooh.
Yeah. How many mini
Well, I
games
mean, like-
actually was there? Like Wii Party U, fucking
Wii
Nintendo
Party U,
Land.
Nintendo Land, and that's it. And
It's
Mario
Animal
Party.
Animal Crossing,
Game
Amiibo
and Mario
Festival.
Party.
Let's go! Animal Crossing on the Wii U and shit.
You remember- you guys remember
that
the,
shit ain't even- there's no mini games in that damn game. There
Remember
should
the
be.
Nintendo Direct disappointments during that era? You
that
remember what it
was-
was?
that was-
What really pissed people off most after Direct was how much time spent on 3DS instead of Wii U.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
3DS, the 3DS envy was real during the Wii
Why
U.
is that game coming to 3D? Bring that to Wii U.
Yeah.
I
And-
remember
and
Federation
like,
Force would have been a
Yes,
great
some of
Wii
those
Wii
were
game.
actually pretty funny though. When they had the puppet one for E3, I thought that was pretty.
that
Oh,
was
the
one of the
Directs
best.
over,
that was
that's
not-
No,
the
it was
directs
the-
were awesome. The directs were awesome. It was the fact
It
that
was
there's
the
so much 3DS stuff,
Robot
you're like,
Chicken
come on.
one. That one was
Yeah.
great. Reggie and
But the direct
Iwata
wasn't great.
fighting.
Wedgie, yeah, Wedgie.
Wedgie.
Reggie and Iwata fighting.
Amazing.
Amazing. Amazing.
And like, I feel the
Watch it,
Wii,
like,
I feel the
that shit
Wii
was
U
great.
got me some.
Yeah, the
still,
resonator. Oh,
I think still to this day, the Wii U got me like my favorite video game sold when like Bayonetta 2 launched and stuff. Man, I was eating popcorn every night with that shit. With people like threatening to kill themselves over Bayonetta 2 and stuff. It was just so good.
The fact that
You
we
guys,
found out that Bayonetta was even coming was like,
People
what?
were so pissed.
true story. I've mentioned this before. I used to watch Shokyo all the time. I saw the reveal of Bayonetta 2. I've never even heard of Bayonetta. What year? That was 2012, probably, maybe
The first
2013.
one
was
was
like 2010 or something.
2009.
No,
2010.
the first time they revealed Bayonetta 2 for the
Oh.
Wii U.
Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of Bayonetta, and it was through Shokyo's reaction to the direct. Cause I watched always his reactions. I have no idea why. I think I just like looking for people who had a Wii U on YouTube. I was looking for people like me who had a Wii U, and he's like, the first game's amazing. And then a few months later, he's like, you can't be excited for this game if you haven't played the original. I'm like, well, I'm not excited. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's good. I'm not out here pretending to be excited, but I definitely I'm looking forward to
That
the
logic
game.
is some bullshit.
But and then they announced it was coming with the first game, and he kind of got quiet. And then it came out. He never mentioned it once. He never talked about it. He never reviewed it. He never said one word about it. I'm like, dude, you've been talking about it for a year. How you're the only one that can be excited for 2 because you love 1, and then you don't even. But anyway, there was a lot of.
There was a contrarian Olympics. There was a lot of just people being contrarian just for the sake of doing so.
We had the old GIMP ports situation.
Well, also,
The hypocrisy of the GIMP ports.
and in the chat, someone brought it up, and it was true. Like, remember when people would be like, "Oh, well, I'll buy it when Mario Kart comes out," and it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy it for one game. I'll buy it when Smash comes out.
Yeah.
And it's like you have this list of games. And it's like, I'm
Remember,
not gonna get for that.
Eric Hoots for the win there, Terrell. You remember?
Oh
him.
God, don't bring.
She's
it
like, I'll buy it when Zelda and Star Fox are coming, and they announced Breath of the Wild and Star Fox. I think the same E3.
yeah,
And
he
then
did.
she changed it again. Like, she's like, I
Just
love
say
my
you-
3DS. I love my 3DS. I'm like, I listed like 4 or 5 games. If you love your 3DS, you'll love
Middle of the Wii U.
you know, you get that same feeling, you get that Nintendo magic. That's what I was
If
trying
people
to
would
sell
just
people
stop
on.
lying. That was the problem I had. Motherfuckers kept lying about how they were
It
into.
just wasn't popular, so that's why they didn't
I'm like,
have
oh
it.
yeah. I'm like, if you didn't care, that's fine. But don't sit here and act like, well, it was a good guy. You don't give a shit.
Is it an add-on
Let's
for
go
the
to that
Wii,
today.
or is it a new console? I don't know.
I still don't
Game
get how
features
people
for
thought that.
Watch Dogs. Remember the gamepad?
Yeah.
Remember the whole debacle around that?
It was such a debacle. Yes, they
My
completely
God.
out. Well,
This cannot run on the Wii U.
talking all this stuff about how great the gamepad was used with the Wii Watch Dogs. It was so much bullshit.
Yeah.
That game was bullshit from
We're
the
saying-
Well,
beginning.
I was actually gonna. I remember when that game was coming out. I was like, I think I might wait for the Wii U version. Like, I'm thinking
Yeah.
about the gamepad. Like, damn, all that type of stuff. And then I ended up getting an Xbox One. But
and
yeah,
all that shit.
Oh, remember
Bullshit.
all the Wii U people jumped to the Xbox One and all of a sudden became Xbox fans, saying that they bought the system with the promise of third-party games.
They gambled wrong there, didn't they?
Like, they
Whoops.
promised third-party games, they didn't deliver. You know, that's not my fault. I'm moving on. You know, that shit.
Still waiting on Project Cars, man. Can't wait.
oh,
Yeah, we
that's
don't-
all-
we don't
yeah,
talk
that was
about
good.
it.
Yeah.
I made some of my best videos on that shit.
Oh,
What was it?
man.
Nintendo, oh no, it was Xbox side peroxide.
Oh my God.
Nintendium Xbox side peroxide. That was some good stuff there.
Yeah, I
You
forgot
know, that's a
about the
whole
Project Cars
saga. I
one.
forgot about that saga.
It was
Again.
Nintendo fan Civil War where it was. It was some fun times.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you had Project Cars that was that, and then they had there's a few of those like but you know what really
Alien
helped was
Colonial
the
Marines.
indies.
Somebody mentioned that.
Oh, Colonial Marines.
Oh, the
all that
gamepad's gonna be
bullshit.
used as the motion tracker.
Randy Pitchford is such a fucking fraud anyway, so we should have.
I ain't gonna lie, this looks better than a lot of Switch games.
Alien. What about Alien? Did Aliens ever come out?
No,
Yeah,
No, it, well,
that
it's
not for
on,
not for
on
Wii U.
Not a Wii U.
And it was
Wii U,
trash.
when
It
did
was
it come out?
absolute, like, what do they call it when they lied? Basically, they bullshotted
Yeah.
and bull talked it up. Is this the actual fucking game? Well, who
You
would
know what?
post this and not even have the
game
open
had,
world?
like,
Sorry.
AI issues or whatever, and in the code, somebody spelled something wrong, and that was a problem with the AI. And somebody fixed it later on. Some word was spelled wrong
Mm.
in the code, and it completely fixed the AI in that game. Made it a completely different game. It was like really, it was that. You guys didn't do shit.
Whoa.
Right on.
Are you watching what I'm sharing? Did you watch?
Dude, I don't need to watch it. I played this game.
Well, watch the
completely on
lighting
Wii
come
U.
in here.
Well, I've seen that.
This is
I've seen that
crazy.
firsthand.
Oh no! What? I thought that was lightning.
No, that's
Oh,
how
no,
the
that was
light.
lightning, yeah.
That's how the lights came on in the world. Like it must have just switched from day to night. Still,
Yeah.
I'm not bullshitting. This to me, this looks as good as a lot of Switch ports. The hell is that?
I played the game. Wow, I
She
have
looks
no idea.
familiar.
Nintendo Life.
Trying
Is
to-
that what's her name? Tiku Tiku. No, that's not her.
No, that's not
You know what I'm talking
Nintendo
about?
Yeah, I don't-
fangirl.
Yeah,
I do
Nintendo
remember
fangirl.
that girl now. That shot.
I do not at all. Nintendo Life. I don't remember that at all.
She looked
Watch
familiar.
Dogs Wii U versus PS4 version.
There you go. Mhm.
Oh, God.
Juicy. That's the juicy comparison.
But I remember,
So
I will say that indies really helped out for that. You know, like where it was like, okay, you didn't have a lot of third party, but the third
Yeah.
party was the indie
I
developers.
mean, this
and-
looks
think
better
most
than
of us were
Pokemon
really
Scarlet.
into indie games because of
Oh,
the Wii U.
wow.
Man, come on.
Stop
That's what we're
it.
doing.
This is
This is-
technically more
this is what
impressive
we're
than
doing?
Pokemon Scarlet. That is a
Man,
fact.
Stop
come on.
it.
Thank you
Stop
so
it.
much, bro.
Just look, the,
I mean,
the
no,
people
no,
aren't
you're
moving
editing
at
that guy.
we
the
can
people
tell
aren't
the
moving at 10
technicality.
frames per second in the distance. There's still some detail on the
Oh my god.
Yeah.
on
We're
the
going here. He's pressing. He's pressing.
no.
We're doing it. We're
No,
doing
no,
this.
I could understand though. I mean, it's for real. I mean,
Solid
like performance-wise,
locked
like, come on.
resolution.
Don't co-sign on him. Don't co-sign on him.
We already said like there's no reason for that game to run out there, and we have Witcher 3 pretty much locked at 30 frames.
This
Witcher
was the
3
good old days. These are
on
when
Switch.
third-party games would actually
You
run
can't
at
see
the
anything like 5
resolution
bars
of the
ahead and
system.
shit, man.
You,
What you
like I
talking
said,
about, man? Go ahead. Now you're making up something completely see ahead of
720p.
you.
If they put a game
It's
on
good.
Wii U, it
It-
was
it was good for Wii
720p.
U.
Well,
and it
Call
ran
of Duty was
good.
like 540, but that's because it's 360 version.
Dude, man, this looks
Call of
better
Duty was
than
540?
Lego City on the cover, man. This is super realistic and
Mm.
stuff.
That-
Cars, man, and Lego City, everything looks like Lego.
Frame
This
rate's a
looks
little
better
choppy.
than I expected, honestly. When
It
I
was
was
25
booting this
frames
video
per
up
second.
thinking it would be funny to look at how bad it was, but I don't think it looks.
No, watch.
No,
I
it
thought
was,
this
it
looked
was,
pretty
it was,
good
on
it
Wii
was
U.
a good port on it. It was a pretty good
I
port.
played the whole game on Wii U. I had no problem.
Doesn't, it doesn't look like the first time they showed it off though.
No,
No.
it did not. It
No,
still
no,
doesn't.
no.
It still
I
doesn't.
don't.
Unless modders did something on
The
PC.
PC version, yeah. Not even PC mods looked that good. That was some bullshotting.
Yeah, that's
Amazing
true.
bullshotting.
Well, apparently, Most Wanted You. That was like the. You're about
Okay,
to
it
say.
doesn't
You're
even
about to
come
say.
up.
You're about to say this is better than Pokemon.
It
Did you
does
pay-
look at.
did
It's
you
not even part of
pause
this
for it, or did you pay
option.
full 60?
Look at Most
Of course
Wanted
not.
Unreal Engine. It is the top one. Need
Yeah,
for
it
Speed
doesn't
Most
surprise me.
Wanted. It's fourth till you get to the actual Wii U game.
Unused police dialogue is before you. Goddamn.
Yeah. But I want to
look at this.
defend Wii TV. What was it called? Wii U
TV, just TV.
It's just
TVII.
The
TVII.
splash screens, Robert. You got something to say about
Fun
splash
watching
screens?
shows.
I love the
and
splash screens. Man. I
Shit,
love those
shit on
ones.
Facebook.
Yeah,
Like
I
in
thought
real
that was
time.
fun.
Watching football
Yeah.
and sharing shit on Twitter.
Put your little
Like-
messages in.
Yeah, I had a good time with that. But you know,
Using your tablet as a remote control. I always
right,
thought
using
was
the
fun,
tablet as a
too.
remote, I still do that.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
Look at that game juice.
It's a pretty good looking game, actually. I haven't,
Hey,
Right?
man, look. That
That's on.
nightlife.
That's on Wii U.
controls
man.
were a little
That's on Wii U.
oversensitive. I will say
That's on-
the Wii U was a huge leap over the Wii. Like, there's no question about
Oh,
it. So
yeah,
that for
yeah.
Nintendo fans,
graphically, yeah,
this was like
Biggest leap.
for me is bigger
That
than
was
PS4 to
N64 to GameCube.
PS5 as far as just because we never seen Nintendo games look this something on Nintendo system look since the GameCube was definitely like had games that were like some of the best of the generation, but like I remember seeing the
This is a nice
lighting,
looking
I remember
game,
seeing
yo,
the
and there's a-
reflections.
The
I was
game
like,
looks great, but it just can't control for shit.
I think it's
Like,
because
it was
the analog
sloppy.
sticks on the Wii were just not enough range. I don't think it translated, just like with Twilight Princess. I mean,
Who's
you
on
hit
Twilight
you hit
Princess?
a light post almost, like I felt like it was like every 5 to 10 seconds. Obviously, this
And
person.
see, you know what?
Look at
I
he's
thought it was
sliding
just me.
over the street.
Yeah.
No, and plus you didn't have the analog trigger, so it was really hard to take off. But this had
Yeah,
like
that's
cool jumps and signs to hit, and actually
It's an open
it
world.
actually showed my friends somehow from 360. Like when I'd go through a sign, it showed somebody. I don't know how it connected. I guess because the EA had both accounts connected.
Oh yeah, there was like the competitive online stuff.
When you jump through a sign
Those
and
with your
stuff,
friends
it
and
would show people who are on Xbox.
Golly.
Yeah, it had some really nice integration.
Drive
Yeah, come on.
straight.
This is a very
You
impressive
can't
port,
drive
man.
straight. You can't drive straight in this game. That's the
can't.
problem. But that's what's when you think of graphically impressive Wii U games, what's
Black Ops 2?
Besides Xenoblade Chronicles,
Bayonetta 2.
And then the two looked great when
Yeah.
it first dropped.
It
That was
does look good.
Oh, they meant like third party like port stuff.
just
Black
in
Ops
general?
Black
Okay.
Ops 2.
But I heard
I
one
thought
that I
Splinter
wanted.
Cell looked great. Blacklist looked great to me.
2. Well, we were talking about
remember
Mario,
Mario
Kart
Kart
8. Just Mario Kart 8
Mario
is
Kart. I mean, come on.
unbelievable. I mean, like
That
to this
was-
day, I still
Everybody,
think it's one of
remember
the
people
best
still
games
talk
of all
about
time.
Mario's mustache flapping in the wind when you're in the
Yes.
Yeah.
replays.
hey, that
And I
started
truly
the
believe
whole.
it's one of the best looking games of
Luigi-
all
that
What is
started,
this?
yeah,
Xenoblade
the Ouija,
Chronicles
yeah.
Definitive Edition.
They see me
It's-
rolling.
That was great, bro. That was some good stuff. Didn't they patch it out?
yeah,
The
They did
bastards.
something.
yeah.
They didn't want us to have any kind of fun.
Not too much fun.
This
Yeah,
definitely
do you-
looks better than Pokemon
Nintendo
Scarlet.
regulated fun.
Well,
You
yes.
remember the
Yeah.
first time
I understand.
they showed this off?
But then
Yeah.
they added in Smash or something?
What? What
The
was it?
Death Stare. I feel like I think it
yeah.
was added to something. They acknowledged the Death Stare in another game. I can't remember what it was.
I
It's
I
weird
don't
seeing
remember.
the heads up
Did the
display.
Wii U have a Pokemon game? It sure did. It had a Pokemon tournament.
Pokemon Tournament,
We
which
don't
was
talk about
Did it
Which
have
is
Animal Crossing?
also-
Sure did.
Oh, what do you mean we
No,
don't talk
listen.
about that? It's a very good.
No,
it's a
listen,
good
no.
fighting game.
When I say we don't talk about, listen, Pokemon's a good game, but Pokemon's also just Pokemon, and unfortunately, that just means
What the hell does that mean? That means it's a
Oh,
fucking
that.
unique ass game for Wii U.
No,
Get the
listen,
hell
listen.
out of here.
No, listen, Robert. I fuck with Pokemon, but
Okay.
Pokemon just kind of stayed in its lane, and it never really got any further than that, which is a shame.
It came
'cause I
out
think
too late.
It came
Okay,
out too
yeah,
late,
it
and
came
then
out
they
too late.
and then
They
they came
need a
out with a
second
port,
one.
and then it
And
was
just
like,
destroyed
bro,
it. And
look at
just,
this
you
jumping.
just
I
you don't
miss-
even need that Wii U version
your
anymore.
moon jump. You fuck with
Yeah,
that
but if
moon
you
jump.
no,
Look at
we're
that.
talking about
Look at
visuals.
Call
We're talking about
Girls.
visuals. Pokemon Tournament was a very visually looking, very.
Oh,
it
definitely.
was
It
good.
was.
It was a
It's still
beautiful
probably one
game.
of the best Pokemon models.
Look
I've
at this
ever
shit.
played.
This is 20 fucking. Well, it came out early 2015 in
2015.
Japan.
And yeah,
That was
yeah.
amazing.
This trailer had everybody so hyped for Wii U, bro. Like the
Well,
first
this
trailer
is just
had.
some random gameplay.
Look,
Yeah,
this
that
is
first
different.
trailer. That
I'm
first
just saying the
trailer
trailer
was.
for it at
Yeah,
the Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
Like
Everybody's like, "What is this?
just
this shit was
like,
epic, man.
What is
Yeah.
this?"
Elmo.
It was definitely an experience.
remember that Direct fondly, but it's really only that that trailer at the
Well,
end.
you
that-
remember
put it over.
fucking Smash when they had it? They were trying.
Well,
they were
Smash had
boasting
some big
Smash-
reveals, like
Oh, yeah, Smash
Sonic,
was
or
good.
not
Of
Sonic,
course, what are you
Mega
kidding?
Man,
Mega
Mega
Man
Man,
made people
Pac-Man,
cry.
Pac-Man.
Wii U.
Pac-Man, the problem with Pac-Man,
Pac-Man
Pac-Man was
Pac-Man,
Look at
yeah.
this
Pac-Man
game.
was
Pac-Man.
announced behind
this
closed
fucking
doors.
game.
Bro,
Giant
Pac-Man,
creatures on
Ryu.
screen.
I'm gonna go play this
Yeah,
shit
the
right
Duck
now.
Those
Hunt
were
dog.
more of those video game dreams that I said. Pac-Man and Smash is something I've always wanted since day one. Like,
That was
insane.
amazing.
Look at this. Look at the water. Fucking incredible.
Look at it.
The
And-
scope
and-
of
and
the
incredible.
game is
Empty ass
ridiculous.
fucking world, man.
This giant open world, and there's no
Nothing in
loads.
it. Yeah.
Nothing
No
at all.
loading.
Yeah, there's zero in the world there.
Captain Toad is a beautiful game.
I
Yeah,
love
I see you typing that. Then
It's a
also,
nice-
gorgeous.
no, that's a
dude,
nice
Kirby and the
budget
Rainbow
film.
Curse. Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, gorgeous. Game.
Beautiful.
Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, gorgeous game.
weird,
Fucking
but
I'll
Yoshi's
click on the
Woolly World,
Donkey one
gorgeous
just
game.
because I know that's
Donkey
Wii
Kong
U.
Country, gorgeous game. Everything was gorgeous, man. Even Mario Tennis Ultra Smash that wasn't even good, gorgeous
Still,
game.
yeah, that's true. I
it
feel
was
like
pretty. It was
this
bare
is
bones
something I
as shit.
wanted to point out.
Yeah.
Because I mentioned I thought the leap from Wii to Wii U was huge. People always talk
Yeah.
about the law of diminishing returns. They tend to focus on Xbox and PlayStation and realistic visuals, but I really feel like the law of diminishing returns for the Switch more than I do, because we already had the 13 million people that actually bought a Wii U.
13.5 million.
We already
Don't
had
forget
the wow factor of seeing Nintendo games in HD. Like, look at how good this looks.
That's
We
gorgeous.
already
I
had
love
that factor. So the
Pokemon,
Switch
man.
games,
It's so
which
good.
aren't that much, in some cases, run at lower resolutions. Look at Pokemon Scarlet, Rose. Oh no, that's not. That's still above
Faster
720.
frame rates.
And a lot of Wii U games were 60 and looked this good.
Yep.
Plus, some had dual perspectives rendering, like Star Fox, and it wasn't the best looking game, but it rendered two completely separate screens at the same time.
So, did you have any visual wow
feel
moments? I had a couple of visual wow moments on Switch.
I
one
mean,
was
Breath of the
Odyssey.
Wild was definitely, but that's a Wii U game, so.
Well, yeah, I just meant like a Switch game.
Luigi's
Well,
Mansion
yeah,
3
for
was
sure.
probably in Smash. Were probably the first real exclusives. Well,
Not in Mario.
I mean, Odyssey had some good looking
I
areas
was
for
like,
sure.
Amazing.
Bro, come on, man.
On the
Bro,
Switch, Luigi's
Odyssey's
Mansion.
gorgeous.
Luigi's
Yeah.
Mansion.
Gorgeous.
Luigi's Mansion.
Well,
That
Intro
Bowser
is
World with the
absolutely
Bowser World
amazing.
is incredible. Animal Crossing, obviously.
Oh,
Come on now.
Yeah.
But like again, Pikmin 3 on Wii U
Pikmin
was
Pikmin
3,
3 on
God.
Wii U is
Pikmin
insane.
3 was
Gorgeous.
huge. Oh my goodness.
gorgeous game.
Yeah, that one's a
The
visual
Wii U
beauty.
endless. But again, I think the law of diminishing returns for seeing
Digital Foundry
Nintendo
was hating
games,
like a motherfucker.
seeing
doing the
Nintendo
Wii U.
games in HD was just. I mean, it's not special like it was on Wii U. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
I hated
I
the
can agree with
spines of
that.
your Wii U games, man. I don't understand why
Well,
they were like that. Like, are
look
they
at
just like
this.
blue? and
Well,
shit?
honestly, I feel like isn't
Yeah, I mean, that's cool.
the Wii U
I
is
don't
like the
kill
last
spines.
of the Wii U is pretty much the last of like hardware wise, like the last of the quirky type of hardware setup.
Right.
That
Yeah.
shit's so good.
Although the
Oh, this
Switch
is the
looked like it was
Switch
going to be
port?
quirkier
I thought this was.
than it
Yeah.
actually was. Ended up being way more traditional.
Yeah.
But it tried this. Oh, look, we can do. You can have ice in your Joy-Con.
Man, I feel man, that is such a missed opportunity. Oh my
I'm
gosh.
saying.
The
You know what's sad?
HD Rumble.
4 years
HD
ago,
Rumble.
Tropical Freeze review. That's the Switch version. It's
Damn.
like,
Damn, that's sad. You're getting
Yeah, that's
old,
crazy.
bro.
4 years. 4 years. And
That was
and
4 years ago.
you think about
Oh,
that game
mhm.
came out in 2014 and 8 years. Going on a 9. It's nuts.
let's
Nuts.
look
Yeah, it
up.
was supposed to be 2013. It got pushed to early 2014,
Yeah.
right?
Yep, it got it
That's
swapped
right.
places with 3D World.
Ah, that's right.
What was it called?
Color Splash.
Oh, Color Splash.
I love
Great
Color
game.
Splash. That was my game of
Goddamn,
the year for
That
2016, baby.
monotonous touching the coloring. That was just insane.
Yeah,
That's what killed the game for me. Having to color splash
oh,
all your
like
cards
fill up the
over
card.
and over and like that was just too much.
So
I
what
enjoy the
do you
game a lot.
guys, if you can
I
think
love the
back,
game though. I think it's one of the best
was
and underrated.
It's very
Paper
Look at this
Mario
game. Like,
games.
come on.
It's good.
what was the
It's
biggest? What was the
cutscene
first
bit.
like major WoW game visually on Wii? What
On Wii U?
on Wii?
was it on Wii
Wii.
U? Was it Mario
Nintendo
Kart
Land.
8 or was it?
Nintendo Land for me, man.
Nah.
Once I
Nintendo
look up
Land was
Nintendo Land.
hard.
Nintendo Land. Look up Nintendo Land, man. Nintendo Land is
That's
really.
it.
I
I
want to
have to
say
agree,
3D World was it for me.
I have to agree
3D
with
World?
Nintendo
Look at
Land,
this.
all the lighting and stuff and the games and everything.
Bro, when you
that was
look up
crazy.
Nintendo Land again.
What
the,
came
the,
out
the
first?
actual like you're like in the lobby and everything, like that shit looks really good.
This looks
What's
fun.
Lego
first?
City Undercover. bro.
Wii U. Wind Waker or
Oh yeah, Wind Waker.
Xenoblade.
Well, that was
Look at this. Look at
Wind
this
Waker
game.
came
Color
out
Splash. It
before
looks
3D
gorgeous.
World.
It did.
I think that was
Yeah.
that was
Summer.
it. Yeah, that was the wow
Yeah.
moment for me. Pikmin 3 as well. I mean, God, almost
Pikmin
every
3.
game that came out.
Pikmin 3 was an entirely different level to me.
That was on another level, bro.
Yeah, that was just like, wait,
That
is
and
that
Mario Kart
possible?
8.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8, I remember seeing that. I was
We were
like, this
talking
isn't
about
real.
Pixar. This should look
I
like
was like,
Pixar,
this
bro.
isn't real, man.
This
This
looks
is unbelievable.
incredible. Like,
No,
Detail.
bro,
This game
I
is
was
so
watching super
underrated, man.
gorgeous.
It pisses
Yeah,
me off.
visually it was absolutely great. It's just
now
lacking.
writing
Origami
was
King
great.
Hey
has
man,
some
hey man, hey
great
man,
look,
Terrell,
too.
how many hours you got in that game?
What?
Exactly. Don't even try. I don't want to hear you talk about a game you didn't play.
What did I miss?
No, because he's like, it's just the gameplay. Where like, nah, you didn't play the game. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
The gameplay is great. Again,
You
I
sounded
only
triggered like a
like-
motherfucker on that one.
having to color up everything. That was, when you go into battles and shit. Like that was
No,
just.
but
too
you know what I
monotonous.
did like? You know what I did like for coloring was the world. I like all of just.
The
It was
world
so
was
addicting.
great.
It was so addicting coloring out
Dialogue
every
was great.
spot.
Underrated. Again, the dialogue I thought was great in
The
that
dialogue
game.
is some of the best writing. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
Here we go. Here it is. The
Yeah,
Luigi
man.
Death
Clip.
Stare. This is it. The one that started it all.
That-
be rolling.
Hey, we're trolling.
Look at this. Look at the chrome on the front of the car.
Mean mugging, bro.
Oh
Yeah,
my
man.
gosh.
Mean mugging him.
This was
He
even on
said,
the
I
news,
wish
man.
you would.
That
I wish you would.
I mean, this sometimes I think anytime I hear like a Switch defender maybe talking about visuals don't mean that much, but when Mario Kart 8 come out, there wasn't a Nintendo fan who wasn't talking up fucking how good Mario Kart 8
How
looks.
pretty that shit looks.
Seeing Mario
And the
Kart in
detail.
HD.
60 frames per second.
You remember though that got killed pretty fast because it was running at 59.
Yeah, 59.
Most people
What?
didn't take any credence to
59
that.
point bullshit. That was crazy.
I think it was
59.8
also
frames per second.
Found you pointed that shit out.
Yeah,
I'm
do
like,
that
man,
E3
y'all
trailer.
tripping.
Do that E3 trailer just so you can see that like that first
We're
time you
talking
see it.
I don't want. Is
About
this the
games
first
that,
one?
like,
No, the first one was
visually were, like,
underwhelming.
games that were like
Oh,
visually
it's one of the
insane is like
best.
that's
Mario
That
what
was
it's
not
about.
on a seeing this like, oh my god, what the
Dude,
fuck?
The Mario Kart
Look at this,
Direct
what?
was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Oh yeah,
shit.
that one was great.
Look at these character models. Like you're like, oh my god, what the hell? God
It
damn
does
it.
look great.
It was gorgeous, man.
And I continue to say I do believe it's one of the best looking games of all time. I
Oh,
really do
definitely.
believe it.
Far.
It's
I really think that like you put the game on any platform, put it on the highest end PC, don't matter.
Well,
Shit
it's
looks
like, oh,
gorgeous.
we're finally to the point where the box renders. This looks like the box renders of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this shit looks so good. You can just slap a screenshot onto a box.
I can't remember if the replays run at 60 or 30. If they actually bump up the visual
I
quality
want to
during
say
the
that's what they
replays.
did.
I don't because remember you could go back and forth and you were able to. You
I
remember that?
like doing that slow motion stuff.
Yeah,
It's
exactly, that
so
slow
Yeah, you
good.
could
motion,
switch
you're
the
able-
camera, couldn't you? During
No,
the
but do you
replays?
remember like if you remember
Forget
it was
about
weird
the
because
Luigi.
if you were getting hit right by like a shell or
Yeah,
something,
you
right,
could slow it
could go
down
back
and
and forth, and it would go. It would explode like
Yeah.
a million times.
You know
Very
those
cool.
Windmills aren't operating at 2
Sharing
frames per second.
replays on YouTube.
It might just be a slow one. Hold on, go back. You sure?
Remember
No,
that
I said they're
feature?
not operating at 2 frames per second. Like
Oh, they're not. Okay,
And
okay,
you
yeah,
can share your clips from your Wii U onto YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And we cannot like
Again,
understood
I
the-
don't remember if we got off that, but like I was saying, everybody was talking up. So I don't like hearing people say that visuals and stuff don't matter when every time a
Yeah.
Nintendo game comes out that blows people away, everybody, the same people are like, "Oh my god, that looks amazing!" Like,
There's a lot of hypocrisy when it comes to defending what you like.
it's
There's
like
always hypocrisy in that. Always
you
will
always
be.
get excited. Everybody gets excited when games look amazing, especially seeing a Nintendo game in HD for the first time. It's just
Or even think about seeing Splatoon for the first time. and think
Splatoon.
Yeah, it's
I
the
was
Splatoon
like,
thing.
what is this?
This-
Like, I remember the
what
first
the
time we
hell
saw
is
it.
this?
What is this? This is Nintendo's shooter. That's what this is. This is crazy.
Mario
Because that was
Maker.
Nintendo's Call of Duty. And
Mario
oh my
Maker was with sharing levels with the Miiverse
Yeah,
and shit, man.
God. Bro,
How excited we were about Mario Maker?
Remember after that we were all excited for
Zelda Maker?
Zelda. Yeah, Zelda.
yeah.
Where's Zelda Maker at, bro?
Still yet to happen, man.
It's coming. It's coming
It's
up
coming,
next.
bro.
You know
The
what?
rumors are it's coming.
And if I mean honestly, if the Wii U, I'd say even if it hit like if it was at like 30 million, I don't think the Switch would have came out in 2017. I think
No, it wouldn't.
Breath
have,
of the
course
Wild would
not.
have been Wii U exclusive. Odyssey would have been Wii U exclusive.
Yep.
I don't know about.
I mean, they
ARMS.
might have kept Odyssey for just a new launch. They might have.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Something like that. It's curious. I would be curious to see.
It
what
sounded
would
like it
happen.
was almost done, and they decided to
Yeah,
hold
they
it.
You
held
know
it
what?
for a year.
You know what? Pikmin 4 was almost done, all right? I don't
I
Yeah.
was
wanna hear
fucking
that.
gonna just say that.
Yeah,
man.
that's
I
the
was
thing.
like,
Like, I honestly, I could see like just like with like I mean,
think
think
it
about it.
wasn't. I think it was.
They said it
I
was
know,
done.
come
It was done
on.
at the launch of the Switch.
What do you mean? Come on, I'm gonna believe what they say. I
Hey,
think it was.
Pikmin,
No, but
really
I also
mistake.
do
And
think- I
Pikmin
do-
4 was almost done like fucking 10 years ago when they had that reveal a little while ago. They would have fucking showed more than what they
Yeah,
showed.
but you don't
Okay?
understand.
Only
They
okay, you know what?
change a lot of. Have you not?
The only way
No,
I agree with that.
Street
The only
got
way I
Game
agree with
Boy.
that.
They change shit. Rare used to do that shit all the time. They'd be 18 months into a game and say, "Fuck it, we're gonna start this shit all over again." They do that. They used to do that all the time. So
The only way I agree with that is the fact that they were sitting on it waiting for better sales. And they wanted to drop it where it had the most potential to
Odyssey?
be able to sell really well. No,
Oh, Pikmin
Pikmin
4.
4. Yeah.
That was Hey Pikmin.
Pikmin 4 is on
don't
the
talk about
fucking
Hey
head
Me and
right
Retro
now.
are on the
That's
same
what
on
it
that
is.
one.
Pikmin 4
Yeah.
was done or close to completion at one point, and they went back to the drawing board. They do that shit all the time in game development. Just watch that. What's that show? Matt McMuscles, I think is
What
his
Happened?
show. What happened? That shit happens all the time, bro. Like they'll be almost done with the game and just like, I'm not feeling it anymore. Let's do something different. Rare used to do that all the time. That's why Nintendo says, "Fuck y'all, y'all can
Rare
go."
still does it.
y'all costing us way too much money.
So
They were 18 months into what was it? They were 18 months into Donkey Kong 64 and was like, fuck this. We starting over. They completely started
Probably
over on
should've
Donkey
kept
Kong
going.
64.
But
So-
anyway, we gotta get out of here.
We
10,
can talk
10
about Wii U
10
for
years.
hours,
I
bro.
wish I've been thinking about hooking it back up upstairs and playing some more. I just got too
You
many
should.
games.
I still
That's-
got mine hooked up and never was unplugged from the day.
It's
Same,
the
mine's still
longest.
hooked up.
I think it's the
Mine's still
longest I've ever had a
That's what
system
Nintendo
actively
right now,
hooked up.
bro.
From 2012 until
I'm
about
ready to go.
I would say early this year. I boxed it up.
Oh, look what's in there. Bayonetta 2.
Oh yeah.
But just for me, it's like that was peak Nintendo platforming games,
And it changed our lives.
and they were
You see
yeah.
that?
We wouldn't know each other if it
We
wasn't for
would,
Wii
like,
U.
and I said that before, like, and it is insane. Like, that's not to be like
Spider-Man?
understated.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Consoles? What the fuck?
It's not to be understated that literally without the Wii U, you would not be listening to this right now. It likely would not have happened. And that
Because
is
I
the
was
God's
looking
truth.
for other Wii U owners out there, and I didn't know any in real life, so I had to go on the internet and YouTube try to find some. I found
Yeah.
Shokyo,
I
Yeah.
found Active
Furious
Gamer Life. I
Francis.
found Red Knight.
That's how
I
I
was
found.
just looking for like
I think a couple people
Was
were
it
riding.
large?
Some people were trying to ride the Wii U like in the beginning, like Rich from Review Tech. I feel like he was positive
He
on
was
the Wii
all
U
over it. Yeah.
until he realized it wasn't going to be successful or something. But
You had to switch it up. You got to
Wii
make
U
that
is
money,
gonna
man.
be
Yeah, you have to
so
switch it up
powerful.
and make all the
yeah, he
money.
kept saying,
People don't understand.
"Oh,
It's
the
gonna
Wii
be
U's
so
has more
powerful.
1080p 60 games." If this rumor's correct, then and it only one that it had was Smash for Wii U. That was literally the only 1080p 60 native game on. I mean, I wanted it to be more. Call of Duty, Black Ops.
Did he
was
say
supposed-
10? I thought he just said 60 frame per second game.
No, he said he made a thing saying if this is true about Call of Duty, the Wii U's gonna have more 1080p 60 games than the PS4 and Xbox One. It's like no, none of
all
those
these
panned out.
all these Switch bitches made their careers of the corpse of the Wii U, man. Like all of them.
Well, pretty much.
Definitely.
So
Switch bitches.
Switch, bitch.
I will say though, I had to upgrade the battery on the gamepad because I wasn't getting 2.5
did the
hours.
same.
Yeah.
Mine's
What'd you think that is?
Really, Mine is always plugged in. I'm not even gonna lie, it's always charging at every single moment.
And it's not good for your battery, by the way.
You should have
This
seen
is
my
your-
hookup for Black
8
Ops
years,
2.
I mean, or I guess 10 years. My bad. Yeah, 10
You
years.
should have seen what I had hooked up for voice chat on Black Ops 2 on Wii U. So I had a 3.5 to a stereo splitter that hooked into a headset, and then that headset had a USB cord that I had to plug into an AC adapter, plug into an outlet,
Oh my God.
and then you
Wow.
had to, because you needed to get the game audio and the voice audio separately. Then I used my surround sound for the game audio, so that was just for chat audio. And I had so many cords, I had them all.
Bro, what
Zip
kind of
tied.
Atari 5200 shit was that?
It was ridiculous. And but you could voice chat day one, like
Yeah.
a week after the Wii U came out.
Yep.
You could send game invites, messages. You could party up.
Video chat.
You could party up on Wii U. Like
You could video chat.
I just mean in that game. And then Nintendo,
Yeah.
none of the Nintendo games allowed that, and still today, that's crazy.
People love to pretend like they weren't hating on the Wii U, but the hate for the Wii U is literally how I found T. Because I got so fucking sick and tired of people hating on Nintendo on the Wii U that I was looking for like a
I
pro
need
Nintendo troll.
champion.
I needed like a pro Nintendo troll, man. That's how I found T and the whole crimp.
That's-
side
I
shit.
mean,
He was, like, the
honestly,
only Nintendo
That's
guy.
why Furious Francis, now known as OJ, he's like, hey, you want to come on discuss
Because we were
Wii U?
the Defendos.
and then he's like, oh, by the way, you're part of the Player Essence community, or what did he call it?
What was it? I'm trying to remember. Players is.
You talking about the Players Essence Network?
Yeah, you're part of the Player Essence. Oh, okay, you didn't even tell me beforehand.
I don't remember what it was.
It's like, didn't tell us beforehand, just said it live on air. Like, oh, you're part of the Player Essence Network. Okay, what does that mean? You know,
You've been indoctrinated.
then I said, dude, can you get me E3 pass? And then he never got like 2014 or whatever, 2015, and he's just like, nah,
you
man.
ain't that close.
No. Okay, I guess we're not. So
I had to pay my own way to PAX East. But I went, damn it, I went.
but yeah, it was
Those videos, nobody cared about that shit. That was my
Damn.
lowest videos of all
remember when
times.
Nintendo would release a budget price game, $40 game, Captain
Mm.
Toad,
Oh, yeah.
Tropical Freeze was 50.
Or drop them down to
That's pretty-
$20. Remember the what was it called?
Player's Choice,
Player's Choice.
This
Remember
Nintendo
that?
Select.
Oh, no, yeah, Nintendo Select.
Nintendo Selects.
Nintendo
Remember, you would get
Selects.
10% off
Yeah,
if you bought a
fast-
digital game. You get 10% off towards your next
you mean?
purchase.
Physical version. We
I
didn't
sent
get
one
it.
to T even.
And one last
See, you sent
thing.
me one.
Oh,
Yeah, it was great.
One last thing. For some reason, this is what I'm going to ask before we got into the Wii U. I feel like I'm the odd man out with this. I don't care if I'm playing the game off the damn disc or off a hard drive or off the cartridge or off internal memory. I don't care as long as I have a physical copy that contains the full game. That's all I care about.
Yes.
Wii U played games off the disc, but Xenoblade Chronicles was definitely a better experience with the installs. But the last time I hooked my Wii U and 360 up and played, I was blown away by the sound of the disc drive constantly spinning like I had forgotten. And
What that sounds like.
the Wii U's is actually because Robert and I, we were trying to get in the lobby, and I had my Wii
Black
U
Ops 2.
over there, and I'm like, damn, this it's just nonstop. You know, you hear that disc because it's
Oh, yeah,
nonstop.
The loading.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the shit still works.
It's like amazing that
working
disc
so hard.
drives hold up. So I think it's cool to say that was like one of the last like disc based systems where it ran the game off the disc.
Yeah, actually, is it the that's
Mhm.
like the actual last literal?
But
Yeah,
At
in
the
terms
same
of traditional
time,
disc.
I
Weird.
don't miss it as long as I can have the game on the actual disc, not just a portion or the very little like 8 megabytes to let it know to
Wow.
download something. That's all I'm happy with. I mean, I'm happy with that, but I'm not like against it running off the disc.
Digital deluxe program, bruh.
I did that.
Ooh.
I got
Ooh.
sucked into that,
Greatness.
and I regret it because I had most of my games are digital, and I was like, but anyway, good trip down memory lane. I kind of want to hook my Wii U up and play some stuff.
I've
But
been hooked up since 2013, 2012.
I have to get
2012.
Terrell to hook up his Wii so he can play
Late 2012.
Safari, African
Can
Safari
we not?
someday.
Can we
He could
not
have,
do
no,
that?
he could. The greatness about Wii U is he could play it
Oh,
on the
yeah,
Wii.
off the Wii U.
Play it
Yeah,
on
you
the
gotta
No,
hook
this
up
is
the Wii U.
entrapment.
Yeah.
This is entrapment.
It's a fun game, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Actually, real quick, talking about those earlier droughts. I played a lot of Wii games.
I like
On the
Oh,
Wii,
yeah,
like, during
I
the
bought
earlier
a-
droughts.
Compatibility, baby.
I bought
That's
Epic
great.
Yarn, and it was more like Epic Yawn. I was falling asleep
Oh,
That is a
halfway
boring
through that game. I quit.
aw.
It's a boring fucking game.
I
It
picked
really
up
is.
Oh, it's a great game.
I picked up Other M.
You like Epic Yarn? What the fuck?
No, I picked up Other M. Got about.
Holy shit,
I got
that
to the
one
first
before.
Ridley fight. Stopped playing that game.
I enjoyed
um,
it.
I got back into City Folk. I played a ton of Animal Crossing City Folk early
I
on.
beat them, but that was a slog.
You didn't have any
bro.
other good Animal Crossing games to play, realistically.
Well, what?
But
No,
anyway,
you-
we're gonna get out of here.
I
Thanks
thought for
everybody
sure
for
there would be
tuning
one.
in.
But there wasn't.
Share your Wii U stories in the chat in the comments
And then
below.
my Wii U stream, I'm gonna be streaming on Wednesday. Well, not streaming. Live. I'm doing a podcast with